Cleveland this year, erasing a 3-goal deficit in Buffalo. Kevin Dineen with 2, it's 5-4. But they meet again 1 month later in Hartford, and this time no Whaler can beat Tom Barrasso. He stops 23, the Sabres win 2-0. Tonight, another crucial Adams Division matchup. The Whalers and the Sabres meet again. From Buffalo, CTV's Friday Night Hockey, produced in association with Carling O'Keefe Sports, bringing the sports world home to you.
They said we'd gone too far. They said it would never fly. They said it couldn't be done, but we showed them the way. The news is out. Now people everywhere can enjoy easy cooling 473 mil tall boys in packs of 12 at a special price. Lightweight 12 packs of Miller, OV, Miller Lite, Carlsberg Light, and Carlsberg. The evidence stacks up. The case goes before the people, and the people win.
It's a tough night every night in the Adams Division. Witness the Whalers last time out. They are all over the Canadians, but Mats Naslund breaks a 1-1 tie. Montreal wins 3-1. The Sabres last game, another divisional contest, this one in Quebec. And the top team in the Adams comes out on top. Wilf Paymont with 2, Peter Stastny 2, it's 7-3. And here's how the toughest division in the NHL shapes up tonight. The Sabres only trail the front-running Nordiques by 5, but on the other side of the coin, they are only 4 points ahead of vastly improved Hartford. Even in December, both clubs have to be thinking of qualifying for the playoffs. It's a cool night in Buffalo. They are heating up for another Adams Division battle. Standing by for the broadcast of tonight's game, Dan Kelly, Ron Roosh, and NHL great Brad Park. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dan Matheson. It has been a hairy half hour the past 30 minutes here in Buffalo because there is a snowstorm raging between Buffalo and Toronto. No big deal because the Sabres are already here, and the Hartford Whalers arrived last night, but the officials were expected here about 2 hours ago. Well, the linesmen, gentlemen by the name of Scampanello and Asseltine, did arrive about 15 minutes ago. Big breath of sigh of relief by many people around the rink. And the referee just arrived 5 minutes ago. He is still suiting up. Ought to be an interesting contest tonight. The Hartford Whalers, a team rebuilding by acquisition. Dave Babbage from Winnipeg, the general on defense, very valuable newcomer, along with workaholic Doug Jarvis up front, and Mike Liut, acquired last year, certainly very capable of some stellar goaltending. Sabres, not pleased with the way things are going right now. We'll see if they can snap out of it tonight. Now, let's go to the anthems ringside.
Stand and join in the singing of the Canadian and U.S. national anthems, along with vocalist Sue Britton and organist Joe Mankowski.
Street. and the national anthems, and now the officials appear. Better late than never, Ron Roosh. Ron Hogarth has just made it. There you see he is going to be the man in charge of this hockey game tonight. Rather hairy weather in Buffalo, but we've had practice at that. This is in the snow belt, as they say.
Well, we've had a lot of these nights here in the Buffalo area. A lot of panic prior to the game. And had the officials not turned up, by the way, we would have a situation where they would have to designate officials. And so they had, as a matter of fact, designated some prior to the game. Here are the goaltenders now. And Mike Liut, who's the workhorse, of course, for the Hartford Whalers. A record of 9-8 and a 3.81 goals against average. Tom Barrasso has started a string of games now. This is his 5th in a row for the Sabres. A record of 10-9-2.
And we are ready for the opening faceoff here in Buffalo. Ron Hogarth dropping the puck, and the puck immediately cleared into the Buffalo zone. Mike Ramsey, number 5, back to get it. Up the middle for Rick Sealing. Now at center ice, the puck bouncing around Mike Ramsey. And it's shot in where Dineen races in to get it. Here's Kevin Dineen trying to center. Dineen to Sylvain Turgeon. He's tied up in the play. Turgeon check and now gets it in front, but Mike Ramsey intercepts, and back come the Sabres. In across the line, drop pass to Ramsey. Now centered in front, they score! Rick Sealing! And Buffalo, before this game is a minute old, take the lead.
Well, they took advantage of the quick break on this one as they got out of the zone. And just a good 3-on-2 as it came over the line. The drop pass taken for the Sabres by Pat Hughes. This is the checking line that they put together. They come through as Sealing finishes it off in front of the net. There's Ramsey with the feed in front, out in front for Sealing, who chipped it up over the shoulder of Liut, who is down on his knees and not expecting that high shot from that close in. So Sealing with his 7th goal of the year. And the Sabres, 38 seconds in, are in a 1-0 lead.
1-0 for Buffalo as the rookie Steve Dykstra now flips it in. Liut cleared it back to the net. Tim Bothwell couldn't get it out. Here's Phil Housley, but Bothwell comes up with the puck. Now Housley again out in front to Tucker. He missed it, comes to the point. Here's Dykstra shooting. That's deflected as it hit Risto Siltanen. And now Bothwell clearing it into center ice. Dykstra knocked it down, now stolen by Hartford. On the attack, Dean Evason clearing it in, but Perreault back checking, breaks it up. Buffalo couldn't clear it, and now it's Housley. In front of his own goal, almost lost it, cleared it, and Siltanen for Hartford dumps it right back in. Phil Housley for the Sabres, who lead this game 1-0. Number 6, Housley. Checked at center, and Greg Malone cleared it near the Buffalo line, and here's the veteran Gilbert Perreault firing it off the boards. And Dana Merzen, the young 19-year-old rookie for Hartford, back to pick it up. Merzen, the Whalers' number 1 draft choice, just firing it off the boards all the way down the ice. Digging in and keeping the play onside. The Whalers get it back to the goal. Now cleared. Comes right in front. Now back to the point to Merzen. Shooting, and he blasted that wide. At the other point, Ulf Samuelsson held it in. Now behind the goal, Torrey Robertson centered. Loose in the slot. Back to the point again. That shot up high. Now centered. Barrasso tipped it away, and Foligno cleared it. Held in by a good play at the point by Merzen. Now shot in by Robertson. He missed Malone with it, and the Sabres' Berta clears to Foligno. Now Robertson. And he's checked, and the Sabres finally get it out of there. And Malone takes over. Malone shooting it back in. Digging in is Bob Crawford. Knocked it behind the goal, but Berta for Buffalo shooting it out on the wing, and the puck comes to center ice. Now here is the lead pass breaking in. They shot wide of the target as Doug Jarvis let it go. Now Jarvis, the former Capital, centered it, and Sear intercepts to Hamel. Now to Sean McKenna. Buffalo on the attack. Quenneville takes McKenna out of the play, and coming back to get the puck is McDermott behind his own goal to Quenneville, and Quenneville feeds it to center ice. Hartford with Dave Tippett feeding it through for Paul McDermott. Barrasso clears that away, and the Sabres come back. Hamel tied up on the boards. Non-stop action here. Now it's Dykstra for Buffalo, number 4. Firing it in. Over onto the boards. Tippett is there to clear it. And McKenna fell as he went back to get it. So going back to pick it up is Sear. Paul Sear for the Sabres. Shot at the center. Here's McKenna. Checked by Ron Francis. Now Sealing and Francis jam up against the boards. And we get a stoppage and a face-off outside the Hartford blue line. This is the NHL on CTV.
What do you say? You just shopped at the Bay.
Yes, can I help you, sir?
No, I just come to the Bay to look.
Well, why don't you look at these? Baycrest flannel pants, regularly $50, now just $29.99. That's 40% off.
I'm looking. I'm liking.
Is that all it costs at the Bay?
Harris tweed jackets, regular $165, only $99.99. Great fit, great quality.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Is that all it costs when you shop at the Bay?
That's all.
We had 3:08 without a whistle after the goal. Brad Parks with us up here in the booth. You get that kind of a flurry going, get your legs going pretty quick.
The officials are getting their legs going, and even the Buffalo team is trying to apply some pressure early on in this game, something that Buffalo's always had a history of doing.
They got the early goal. Rick Sealing is 7th of the year from Hughes and Ramsey at the 38-second mark. Now it's Dineen for Hartford, upended at center, but no penalty call, and right back come the Sabres. Here's a newcomer to Buffalo, Jim Hofford, up from Rochester. He's knocked down behind the goal, and back is Ron Francis, flipping it to Turgeon, number 16. He got it into the zone. Mike Ramsey shot it back out. Now Buffalo pick up the loose puck, but that's called on a 2-line offside as soon as Pat Hughes touched the puck.
Well, Jim Schoenfeld is scratching his head. He doesn't know exactly what's wrong with this hockey club. The last 8 games, 6 losses, a win, and a tie. The one thing he says is there could be a little more hard work involved. But just 2 wins in the last 10 games, as you see there, and actually a 3-game winless streak, including a 7-3 loss against Quebec. They were losing some very important games within their division. Well, hello to you, too, from the Buffalo Sabres fans here.
Here's a face-off coming up just inside the Buffalo blue line. Dean Evason out centering this line with Stuart Gavin on one wing, Paul Lawless on the other, but Playfair has it for Buffalo, giving it to Berta, and the Sabres come to center. Anu Berta dumping it in. Going back is number 24, Tim Bothwell, to Lawless, number 28. He's forechecked by Perreault. Perreault tried to center, couldn't, and Samuelson feeds it for Gavin. Now ahead to Evason with Lawless. 2-on-1 break, the pass, and it's broken up on a diving defensive play by Berta. And Playfair then clears it out for Buffalo. Here's Tucker for the Sabres. Shot it near the line. Wallace clearing the puck down into the Buffalo zone, and then the play is called back. Key defensive play moments ago by Anu Berta.
And I thought Evason probably hung on to the puck a little longer than he should, as you look there at Larry Playfair. And Playfair, of course, a longtime member of this hockey club, played some left wing in the last couple of weeks as they try to get some muscle up front. Here's Evason. Now he just hung on to that puck just a little bit too long, and it allowed Virta, who could see his man being forced towards the corner, to just take the puck away from him. It was not a dangerous or a type of play where he overcommitted himself, because actually Evason had waited too long holding the puck going in.
Here's Hartford's big line with Francis at center, Turgeon left wing, and Dineen on right wing. And now carrying the puck is the rookie defenseman Merzen, who dumps it in. And it pops up over the glass and into the crowd. And the faceoff is going to be outside the Buffalo blue line.
Well, how good is this young fellow going to be? He was a big scorer, 40 goals in his rookie season, tailed off somewhat in his sophomore year, but this year he leads his team in goals with 15. And he's going to have a brother playing in the National Hockey League, I would imagine, too. He was the first player taken in the Quebec Midget Draft this year. He plays for the Granby Bisons in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. He's a good one, and he's the future of this hockey club. They've got 3 or 4 that can really do the job.
Here's Dineen, number 11. Kevin Dineen getting it in for Turgeon. Tried to center. Hofford, the rookie, is there to break it up. And now it's Sean McKenna feeding it to Sear at center, but Samuelson knocked it down. Now Hamel couldn't get anywhere. McKenna dropped it back, and here's Ramsey to Hamel, but he couldn't get around Merzen. And Samuelson headmans to Turgeon, but he's checked. Now Dineen picks it up. Shooting, and Barrasso just got a piece of it with his goal stick. Buffalo with Mike Ramsey, number 5. Spins away from a check. Now dumps it in. And going back is Merzen, number 4 for the Whalers. Dana Merzen. Skated out by McKenna. And now Lindy Ruff back in the Buffalo lineup tonight. Dropping it back for the rookie Dykstra. He shot it in. Merzen firing it back out at center ice. And Torrey Robertson flips it in for Hartford. Going back to get it and clearing it on the boards is Dykstra. Now to number 22, Ruff. He got tangled up with the linesman, and then the play is called on an offside. It's a snowy night in Buffalo, and this is the NHL on CTV.
Do you know what wins medals? We do. Because we've watched swimmers get up and dedicate a lot of years and thousands of hard miles for just one chance to shine at the Olympics. Esso supports Canadian swimmers with money and admiration because helping you makes us better too.
Well, that graphic tells it all, I think. This is why the Hartford Whalers are in the race, and the Buffalo Sabres are in the race, too, for the 4th and final playoff berth this early in the season. One team going with 1 victory, the other 4-4.
Hartford just 4 points back of Buffalo, and with 3 big games in hand. Buffalo on the attack and leading this game 1-0, but Malone is able to clear it out, and Dave Andrechuk has it for the Sabres to Ruff. He's checked, and Malone then picks it up. Clearing it in, and Housley, number 6, is back for the Sabres. Bill Housley clearing it on the boards. Off Foligno's skate, but Dave Babich is there for Hartford. Now Foligno to Andrechuk. Gets it into the zone. Quenneville flipping it out for Hartford, and here comes Malone. Lead pass to Robertson, number 32. Around on the boards, into the corner for Bob Crawford. Trying to center, and Housley intercepts and clears it out of there for Andrechuk. Left wing pass to Dykstra. Dave Babich is there to poke it to center. And it's Ruff clearing it in. Housley takes over for the Sabres. Buffalo leading 1-0. Andrechuk bumped by Robertson, and Housley has to go back and cover up. To number 11, Perreault. He couldn't get anywhere. And now it's shot in by McDermott. And digging back is Playfair. Into the corner, the Whalers send in two men. One of them, Tippett, kicks the puck on the boards. Now Tippett again in the corner. Number 15, Tippett, trying to center one. And fighting as Jarvis gets the puck loose, but that's intercepted. And Mikhail Anderson, the rookie for Buffalo, shot it to center. Still 1-0 for the Sabres. Bristol Siltanen now got it into the center ice area for Gavin, who cleared it in, but Anderson comes right back for Buffalo. Dropping it to Playfair. Lead pass to Tucker. He's checked in. Hartford with Evason. Flip it to center. Here is Lawless with a long shot. Barrasso the save, and then he fires the puck himself out to center ice. Here's Perreault. Trying to go around Bothwell. Gets it to Tucker. Tucker couldn't get anywhere. Now Tucker gets it again. Into Perreault, back to Tucker. Shot it up high off the glass. And then the Whalers clear it to center ice. Berta to center to Tucker. Over to Perreault, who dumps it in. Non-stop action here, Ron Rush.
Well, it's a lot of it at center ice. The checking very close at this stage.
1-0 for Buffalo as a long shot comes off the backboards right in front. Barrasso grabbed it. And now Ramsey feeding it out for the right winger. Now picking it up is Sealing, moving in. His shot wide of the target. Mike Ramsey couldn't hold it in, and here's Ron Francis at center to Tippett. Shot right on. Stick save Barrasso. Tippett behind the goal to Dineen. Ramsey ties him up. Now Dineen battling, and the Buffalo Flavor knocks it ahead with a hand pass, and that stops play. This is the NHL on CTV.
The enemy, snow. You never know when your car might lose its grip. Hence, the design logic for Vector. Goodyear's exceptional handling all-season radial. It's a aggressive crisscross tread actually cleans itself for superb control on snow and ice. You either have Goodyear vectors or you need them.
Only one other game tonight. Edmonton is at Winnipeg. That one starts at 8 o'clock local time. The Oilers may have had that record-breaking outing in Chicago Wednesday, but they have given up 16 goals their past 2 games.
Only one shot on goal here by either team, and it counted for a goal.
Yeah, the one shot is the goal, and it really hasn't been anything memorable other than that.
Here's Hartford around on the boards as the Buffalo Sabres clear it to center. Ulf Samuelsson, number 5, back for Hartford. Clearing it to Ron Francis, number 10. Francis to Dineen just behind him, and Mike Ramsey intercepts and flips it in for the Sabres. Going back to get it is Merzen on the right wing side to Dineen, now to Francis. This is the Whalers' big line as Francis feeds Dineen. Kershaw's the other member of that line. Now Dineen in the corner. Couldn't make the centering play. And back comes Paul Cyr, number 18 for Buffalo. Leaving it for Hamel. Shoots wide by about a foot. That was a hard shot. And then Tippett clears the puck into the Buffalo zone. Going back to get it is Steve Dykstra at center. The Sabres, Hamel couldn't get anywhere. Now picked up by McKenna. He's checked, and Babbitt shot it to center. The Sabres clear it right back in. Merzen, number 4. For Malone, too far for him. Crawford races in, but Barrasso cleared it on the boards, and Foligno shot it to center. Quenneville has it there. Cleared it to the Buffalo line. Now Dykstra in for Andrechuk, but Dave Babbitt's knocked it away. 1-0. The Sabres lead as Housley feeds Andrechuk. Now to Lindy Ruff. Moves in. That shot deflected. Comes in front to Andrechuk. A drive. Liut stopped that as the shot was from about 25 feet out in the slot. Now Malone can't clear it. Here's Andrechuk to Rupp. The shot blocked by Babbitt. Housley the rebound. That's blocked by the other defenseman, Quenneville. And then Malone shot it to center. Good pressure there by Buffalo. Andrechuk drops to Dykstra, and he fires it in. Foligno in to get it, centered. And Babbitt is there to intercept to Torrey Robertson. And Robertson crosses center and fires it in. Still a 1-0 Buffalo lead. Playfair shot it to center. Now Andrechuk picks it up. Over to Mikhail Anderson. And he's checked in the play by Dean Evason. Ahead for Lawless. Number 28, Paul Lawless, the Hartford rookie. Tries to center, but it's knocked away. And now Berta cleared it out to Anderson, who got it to center. Bothwell shooting it back in, and he flipped it over the glass. We're live in Buffalo, New York, and this is the NHL on CTV.
Goalies are really the glamour guys of hockey.
We got it all.
Good looks, good taste.
We even drink Miller Lite.
Light is brewed right here in Canada.
We like it because it tastes great.
No, we like it because it tastes less filling.
Tastes great.
Tastes less filling.
Tastes great.
Tastes less filling.
Hey, wait, we better stop this.
Yeah, we don't want to take a chance at hurting our good looks.
No, you said.
Light beer from Miller, now brewed in Canada. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Shots on goal clock reads 4-2 favor of the Whalers. I can't remember one of the Whalers shots, but both of the shots taken by the Buffalo Sabres have been good. One for a goal. The second one was Andrechuk's. That was a pretty good one from the slot.
Now as Buffalo try and carry in, the play goes offside. Still going strong is Gilbert Perreault.
35 years old, or young, whatever you want to say. I think young in the case of the way he's playing for this team, and it looks like he'll lead this team in points again for about the 6th straight year. He turned 35 just last month. He is nearing his 600th career goal. That should come in the next 2 months or so.
Here's Lawless clearing it in for Hartford. Dean Evason races in after it. Gets it behind the goal, but Stuart Gavin couldn't get anywhere. Now Siltanen of the point held it in. His shot blocked by Playfair, and the Sabres clear it to center. Siltanen hustles back for Hartford. Now it's Gavin, number 7. Tied up by Berta, and Hannu Berta will get a penalty right here. And upcoming will be the game's first power play. It's Buffalo leading 1-0. This is the NHL on CTV.
When you first started out, you dressed like the next guy. Later, you'd wear anything to be part of the crowd. But now that you're making your own decisions, come into Tip Top Tailors. No one offers you a better combination of selection, quality, and value. And this week, you'll get unbeatable value on a colorful selection of solid shade V-neck acrylic sweaters. Now just $10.99. Over 2 million people shopped Tip Top last year and found a place to hang their hat.
Goes off on a holding call. The Whalers down in this game, and there it is, just the clutch on Stuart Gavin as he came down the boards. And so we're going to see the Whaler power play, which isn't bad, and a little speed out there with Dineen and Lawless and Ron Francis.
Hartford's 7th best power play in the league, 31 goals at 23.7 percentage. Siltanen and Babbage are the point men. Francis back to pick it up behind his own goal, or Siltanen, I should say, to Dave Babbage, the former Winnipeg Jet. Babbage into Dineen. Dineen tried to center to Francis at the other side of the net. Francis out in front. Fakes the shot, now dropped to Siltanen, and he partially fanned on it. And then Barrasso was able to grab it easily as the shot was not a good one.
Well, it wasn't a good one, and it was not a very well-executed play all the way around, as Francis seemed to hold on to the puck far too long at the side of the net. A lot of indecision as he waited and waited. He had Lawless right out in front of the goal mouth, and either he couldn't see a clear path to him. Let's take a look at it here as Francis. Now he looks like Lawless was out in front, and he moved to the side of the net, and then it was slightly deflected as it came out towards the point man Babbage, and a rolling puck and a blooper, and it was easily handled by goaltender Tom Barrasso. This is a power play that's going to improve, Dan, with the addition of Babbage. They already had a pretty good wheelman in Siltanen out there. And now you got two good point men to move the puck and add to that the speed up front that they can show you. And I think that this is an improving power play.
And as I mentioned, they're already 7th best in the league, and as Ron points out, a chance to get better. You have to, Brad Park, like the personnel on this Hartford power play.
They moved the puck very well, Dan. You know, what they did was Ron Francis is probably the key to the power play. He's the guy that's the playmaker. He's the guy that feathers the nice passes. Siltanen and Babbage are playing both their offsides. Both guys can shoot the puck without stopping it.
Here is Paul Lawless, drops to Siltanen. That shot blocked into the corner. Dineen to Francis. Francis back to Babbage, and it bounced off his stick, and number 44, Dave Babbage, has to go back to Siltanen. Now to Lawless, number 28. He just dumps it in. Bounced right out in front to Lawless, but he was tied up by Ramsey, never got the shot up. And then the puck cleared by Sealing down the ice.
Well, that Ramsey just leveled him, too. He always throws great checks out there. Just shake a guy up.
Still 55 seconds left in the power play. Here's Babbage into Francis. That shot blocked by Ramsey in front of the net. Now Torrey Robertson tried to get it in front. Does. Here's Francis back to Babbage. Centered. Big save there. And then Playfair stopped it as it trickled in behind the goaltender, Barrasso. Chalk one up for Larry Playfair there. Here's Francis trying to center. Now to Robertson. Out in front, a shot. Barrasso the save. Rebound. That stopped at the defense and then cleared away by Sealing. 18 seconds left in the power play. This is Siltanen for Hartford. His pass intercepted. Back comes Dykstra, number 4. For the Sabres, long shot. Liut handles that. And Siltanen, number 8, has it there. Siltanen with just 3 seconds left in the penalty. Flips it in. Now the penalized player, Berta, is back on. Here's Playfair, who saved the day moments ago, trying to clear it. Merzen held it in, now centered. Robertson hit the goal post. Torrey Robertson wide open in the slot. Hits the post. Well, a save by Playfair and a hit goal post, so this game could be completely different.
Well, great chance for Robertson, who was just cold in front of him. Waited a little bit too long, maybe. You think too much sometimes.
Puck shot in, and Dykstra is back for the Sabres. 1-0 Buffalo as Dykstra clears it down the ice. Liut plays the puck, so there will be no icing. Now Liut lost it to Foligno. He centers. It comes to Housley. Rink wide to the other point to Dykstra. Drive. That's wide. Housley try to keep it in and did. Sabres center. Loose in front. A shot. They score! And Rachuk from Foligno, and it's 2-0 Buffalo.
Chalk that up to a play back at the blue line made by Phil Housley as he kept it in under pressure. There it was. You saw the tag end of it. Now the puck comes in front of the net, deflected, and then just flipped over. And Andreychuk finally getting the goal. But the play, the key to it all, as you watch number 25 Andreychuk get into position, was the play at the blue line made by Phil Housley. So Andreychuk with his 11th goal, and it's 2-0. And how games can turn around with a couple of breaks going one end of the ice for the Sabres, and then they get the turnover in the Whalers zone.
Ulf Samuelsson had a chance, but couldn't handle the puck as it came to him in front of the net, and it went right to the Sabres. Now Hartford on the attack, but Dykstra cleared it. Foligno trying to get it out of there. Merzen held it in, and right back comes Andreychuk to Rupp. Lindy Rupp, number 22. Checked, and Samuelsson flips it. Here's Foligno. Back on the point to Playfair, shooting, and that was tipped just wide. And here's Doug Jarvis, number 27. Jarvis, who's never missed a game in the 10.5 years he's been in the NHL, couldn't handle the puck. Now it's Foligno to McKenna. Shot to center ice and taken at the line by Merzen. Over to Ulf Samuelsson. Samuelsson cleared to center ice. Here's Merzen. Couldn't get anywhere, and Tucker gives it to Housley. He missed it. And now Lawless into the Buffalo zone, but knocked down. And Playfair has it for the Sabres to Tucker. Samuelsson checked him. Now Berta firing one. Into the Hartford zone. Merzen back to get it. Merzen is forechecked hard and knocked down. Merzen gets up and plays the puck, however. Gavin cleared it. Berta held it in. Hit Anderson, his teammate, with that shot. Merzen failed to clear it, but now it's Samuelsson. Ahead to Evason. Into the slot to Lawless. Over onto the wing, and unable to handle it with Stuart Gavin. Back comes Anderson. Leaving it for Perreault. 3:25 left in the first period. 2-0 Buffalo. The Sabres led by Perreault. Back to Mike Ramsey. Ramsey shooting, and that's blocked by Quenneville. Quenneville can't clear it, but the Whalers do get it to the line, and then it's shot back in by Ramsey. Samuelsson, as they delay the offside call, and it won't be whistled because Samuelsson cleared it into center ice to Lawless, who dumps it in. Going back is Ramsey. Shot it onto the boards. Over comes Ron Francis. Less than 3 minutes to play here in the first period. And back is Dave Babbage. Not much action for the most part, Ron, but very few whistles.
Just again between the blue lines at center ice, and there isn't an awful lot of room out there, so you get this very, very close checking that's going on right now. And Hartford getting the worst in that area. They're just simply not getting the chances.
Here comes Francis. Into Dineen. Kevin Dineen shoots. Blocked by Ramsey. And Ramsey and clears the puck while flat on the ice, and back comes Sean McKenna. He just crosses the red line and dumps it in. Liut leaving it there for the veteran Tim Bothwell. To Tippett, who deflects it into the Buffalo zone. And it's shot right back out by Sealing, and here's Berta. Over to Andreychuk. Now it's to Pat Hughes. Hughes trying to center. Liut grabbed that shot, even though it was going to be wide of the goal. And a little pushing and shoving. Friday Night Hockey. This is the NHL on CTV.
Zeller's gifts don't cost a lot. They just look like they do.
Thanks, Mr. Miller. They must be grooming me for management.
Jane, you really went overboard. I don't remember giving her a raise.
Save on this Panasonic Lady Shaver, just $54.97. Philips Beauty Set, also $54.97. And top name men's shavers, just $34.97 to $89.97.
From Baxter? Guess he drives that old clunker for sentimental reasons.
Give a gift from Zellers, and only you'll know how little you paid.
Well, you talk to Jim Schoenfeld, the coach of the Buffalo Sabres, and he'll tell you we're not scoring enough goals. We're not getting the offense we need. In the last 8 games, just over 2.5 per game is not enough to win in the National Hockey League this day and age, and it shows in their win-loss column.
Face-off in the Hartford zone. Buffalo dropping it to Housley. Bill Housley moves in. He scores! Housley let it go. Lindy Rupp may have tipped it, I'm not sure, but it's 3-0 Buffalo.
He may have, but I don't think so. Boy, what a strange period, Dan. It just seems like everything is going right for the Sabres. Now watch this on a screen back from the point. Not much of a shot, really. Well, Rupp may have got his stick on it in between. It dribbled between the pads of Liut, who did not see it at all. He had all kinds of traffic in front of him. Maybe we get a better view here. I think it may have deflected, and Rupp may have got that goal. Liut had it go between his legs. Now this comes at the tag end of the period, 1:48 left, and 3-0.
Hartford has outshot Buffalo 7-5. But on 5 shots on goal, the Sabres have been able to score 3 times and lead it 3-0. Now here's the rookie Evason clearing it off the boards to Wallace. Out of the goal, Barrasso, and Dykstra trying to clear it. Good play by Samuelson to hold it in. Now centered. Wallace couldn't get a shot. Here's Merson, big rookie defenseman. Got it in front, and Andrechuk then feeds it out. And picking it up is Lindy Rupp. He got it to the line. Wallace knocks it down to Evason, and then it's broken up by the Buffalo rookie defenseman Jim Hopper. 3-0 here for the Sabres. This is the NHL on CTV.
You've got the time, we've got the beer. For what you have in mind. Come on, it's Miller time.
Laurie Graham, the past couple days, has continued the tradition established by Nancy Green. Carling O'Keefe Sports salutes the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame in the upcoming intermission. We'll talk live with Dave Babbage. Ron will have his play of the period. Brad, the highlights.
Phil Housley got the goal, his 8th. Andrechuk and Rupp drawing assist at 18-12, and then the penalty. Lindy Rupp called on that last play. We didn't see it at all, but he got a high sticking call at 18:50, and so the Sabres will play shorthanded the final moments of this period.
Everything has gone completely right for Buffalo in this game.
Absolutely.
Here's Hartford with the man advantage, trying to center. Rick Sealing intercepts. And cleared it to Pat Hughes. We're in the final minute of the first period. Hughes dropping it back, and the puck is shot down the ice by Jim Hoppard, who is just up from Rochester of the American League. He's a rookie from Sudbury, Ontario. Number 33, Hoppard on right defense. Shot in by Hartford. Lawless digging in. Bumped by Ramsey. Now Hughes can't clear it. Puck comes back on the point to Francis. Francis over to Silton, and a drive up high off the glass. Now number 7, Stuart Gavin. Check. Francis held it in. Into Lawless. Number 28, Lawless trying to stuff it in. And now Sealing cleared it. Knocked down by Hartford. Evason back to Silton and drive. Blocked in front by Ramsey. Francis at the point. Holding it in for Hartford. To Silton, and a shot. Deflected and then grabbed by Barrasso. And now a wrestling match in front of the net as Hoppard has Torrey Robertson down on the ice.
Well, I know how tough Robertson is. I don't know how tough Hoppard is. We're about to find out. 4 seconds left. Good reaction there on the part of Tom Barrasso, because that puck in front of the net was deflected. Watch it come in here, and you see the puck deflected by a sprawling Hanno Virta, I think it was, down, and as it's changed speed, it's difficult. You know, you get geared for a shot coming in at a certain speed. Suddenly it's a change-up on you, and then you see the tackle thrown on Torrey Robertson, who's very good around the net, may I say, by Hoppard.
Jim Hoppard, just up from Rochester. He's only 21 years of age, former 8th-round draft choice of the Sabres in '83. Only 4 seconds left. Face-off deep in the Buffalo zone. And it's 3-0 for Buffalo. Francis getting ready on the face-off against Tamel. The Whalers get it center, but just tipped away by Playfair. Now Dineen shot, blocked by Playfair. And now Dineen and Playfair take a push at each other as this period comes to an end. And the linesmen try and keep both teams separated. Very strange period if you're a Hartford Whaler fan. They seem to outplay the Sabres, but they skate off trailing. Shots on goal favor the visiting Whalers, 8-5, but the scoreboard favors Buffalo 3-0. Stay with us for our upcoming intermission. This is the NHL on CTV.
What you got for lunch, Joy? Ham sandwich and apple and cheese. Cheese. I'll trade you my cookie for cheese. No. For a hot sandwich? No, but I kind of always like your bike, Scott.
Cheddar cheese. For Scott and Joey and you, it's always the answer. It's practically indispensable. So always have enough.
Cheese, please.
You mean I could win up to $25,000? Yourself, $25,000 instantly. How can you be quiet about something like that? How can you not talk about a $25,000 instant prize? Look, can we talk? We should be talking about this.
Bonjour. I think you know who I am, but I don't think you know my watch. Look at it. It's extraordinary. Thin, accurate, and very beautiful, no? It was made by LaSalle. LaSalle. Someday this name will be as famous as mine, and they won't need me anymore. Au revoir.
LaSalle, for women like Catherine Deneuve and men like you. Loblaws, your Christmas store. Merry Christmas from Loblaws.
Hey, how many of you would like to be a millionaire? Raise your hand.
The promise of easy riches in real estate. But for who? That story Sunday on W5.
Rick Sealing scored early, Phil Housley scored late, and sandwiched in the middle, a goal by Dave Anderchuk. The Buffalo Sabres up 3-0 after one period of play here in snowy Buffalo tonight. But Dave Babich, I would have to think that you can't be too discouraged. The club played real well in the first period. Just seems to be you had no luck at all around the net.
Well, that's true. You know, we had a couple chances. You know, Larry Playfair made one big save there on one of our power plays, and you know, when that happens, it's just, you know, they're in the right spots, and we just got to keep working. I think, you know, in past games we had the same chances, and we weren't really bearing down when we had the close chances anyway. I think you know, you got to try to put it through the net instead of just past the goalie. So we'll keep trying that anyway.
You know, you were the big off-ice news this month in the National Hockey League. Have you gotten over the shock? Was it a shock?
Well, oh, of course it was, but you know, it's part of the business. You know, it's not the good part of it, but you know, I'm happy here in Hartford now. It took a while to, you know, it still seems like I'm on a big road trip, but you know, I finally got a place to stay in Hartford. You know, the next couple of days I'll be in there when we get home, and probably settle things down a little bit, you know, instead of those crazy hotels all the time.
Well, I like your comments on two things. Kind of a good news, bad news situation about the trade. The good news is that everybody in the league and around the league is saying that Hartford got the better of the deal. That must be gratifying. The other thing, though, is that John Ferguson likes aggressive guys. He traded for an aggressive player. The implication obvious. He doesn't think that you are aggressive enough.
Well, in junior and stuff, you know, I played pretty well the same way. You know, I'm sure they scouted me because they had to pick me in the draft, but you know, that's just what happened. I guess, you know, maybe I didn't score enough goals or whatever. Maybe that would help, but...
Do you feel you're aggressive enough? Because that was his knock on you.
I think so. You know, I think that when I go in the corners, you don't have to, you know, elbow the guy's face off or anything like that, but I think, you know, when I go in the corners, you know, I bump them hard enough so they at least know that I'm there, and, you know, sometimes harder, but that's just the way the game is. I think if you run around a lot, you know, for me anyway, that you get out position a lot more, and you know, in this game you just can't do that. You know, you see 3-0. So,
are the Whalers using you much the way the Jets used you?
Well, pretty much the same. I'm
playing 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, you know, it feels a lot better. At the end in Winnipeg, there I was playing a lot, and I was really comfortable with the way I was playing. I was carrying the puck a lot. Here, it's hard to get used to. You know, you got all the new guys, and you're not exactly sure which way they're going to turn or whatever. When certain situations come up, but you know, I'm getting used to it as the game's going on.
I need a very short answer from you here. I detect a lot of optimism on this club, more than we've ever seen before. This team thinks it's ready to go now.
Oh, I think so. You know, we're looking for playoffs, and that's all there is to it.
David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dave Babbage, our guest here. Our intermission will continue as Carling O'Keefe Sports salutes the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame. We'll be right back. This is the NHL on CTV.
You know, the blood donor program is just one of the many valuable services of the Red Cross, a partner in United Way. Hi, I'm Wayne Gretzky, and I would like to tell you about some other Red Cross services, such as water safety programs, youth services, disaster relief, first aid, sick room supplies. All of these and more are available in many communities because you care. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
Wishing you could join in the Christmas cheer, Ebenezer? Wishing I could get my hands on that Commodore home computer. Well, they got theirs at Canadian Tire. This week, get the Commodore 128 personal computer, just $444.44. The 1571 disk drive, $366.66. And save on the Commodore 64, too. But why a home computer, Ebenezer? You're just an old penny pincher.
But with a computer, I'll know precisely how many pennies I have to pinch.
Canadian Tire lets you do like Santa and save like Scrooge.
You can't beat our family sedans, and nothing proves that better than their family sedans. Compare Plymouth Caravelle and Dodge 600 against Chev Celebrity and Pontiac 6000. Compare for 5-year, 80,000-kilometer protection, for luxury and comfort for 6, and for the option of turbo power. Compare Dodge 600 and Plymouth Caravelle against the competition. Then make our family sedan your family sedan. At Chrysler, we just want to be the best.
Honey, guess who's going on a diet?
Who?
Our battery eaters. You know, the cassette player, the kids' toys, all that stuff. They're going on a Sanyo diet with Sanyo rechargeables.
And look, they've got a 5-year warranty.
We just charge them up and use them over and over. Throwaway batteries could cost us over $100 a year for our portable alone.
But with the Sanyo diet of rechargeable batteries, we can really reduce expenses.
You're very bright. Put your battery eaters on the Sanyo diet.
In 1968, she captured our hearts and came home to a hero's welcome. We'll pay her tribute tonight as Carling O'Keefe Sports salutes Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. Canada's Sports Hall of Fame honors those from a variety of athletics, those who have led the way to glory and excellence from both individual and team sports. Nancy Greene is one of those athletes. She rose up against the highly organized and efficient skiing powers of Europe and showed them that Canada, too, is capable of international skiing victories. As a young girl, Nancy made a commitment to attain excellence, and that's exactly what she did. Nancy Greene, the tiger of the ski slopes, was born in Ottawa on May 11, 1943. Nancy developed a competitive spirit with her older sister, Liz. Working together, the two sisters made their way to the 1960 Squaw Valley Olympics. Seeing Ann Hegbite of Ottawa win a gold medal at Squaw Valley instilled in Nancy a sense of national pride and a desire for a gold medal. By 1967, Nancy was in top form. She was skiing in the World Cup races in Europe, but had to return to Canada to fulfill prior racing commitments. In order to win the Cup, she had to take first place in her final 5 races. On March 26, 1967, at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, she did exactly that, making her the first Canadian woman to win the World Cup. 1968 saw Nancy Greene on her way to her 3rd Olympics in Grenoble, France. 2 weeks before the Olympics, Nancy suffered a fall in training, creating some doubt as to whether or not she should compete. Placing only 10th in the Olympic downhill compounded Nancy's problems. A frustrated Nancy Greene fought back to win a silver medal in the slalom. With this win behind her, the Tigers stepped up to the gate for the giant slalom. After 1 minute, 51 and 97 100 seconds, through 68 gates, and and 1,610 meters, Nancy Green won the gold medal. Later that year, Nancy again won the World Cup of Skiing. It is champions like Nancy Green that make up Canada's Sports Hall of Fame.
The enemy, snow. You never know when your car might lose its grip. Hence, the design logic for Vector. Goodyear's exceptional handling all-season radial. Its aggressive crisscross tread actually cleans itself for superb control on snow and ice. You either have Goodyear Vectors or you need them.
Looking at you, yeah, I'll be looking at you. Showing your magic, showing your style with every move. Every place you go, my eyes will follow you. I'm looking at you.
When you want to stand out, step into Bootlegger, the casual wear stores.
You make the extra effort to do your very best. You spend the extra time just to be better than the rest. For all your extra effort and for everything you do, we make Carnation hot chocolate extra smooth and rich for you. Creamy thick Carnation, it's a winner all the way. Carnation instant hot chocolate, chocolate, the best taste of your day.
Nordica ski boots. Feel the power, the performance. Feel the mountain under your skis. Feel the Nordica comfort. Comfort in action. And if you're into action, you could win one of 7 ski trips for 2 to the French Alps from Sabina and Sportsmania.
Ask for details at McMaster Sports in Hamilton and Burlington, Riordan Ski Sports Center in Waterloo, Kitchener, Guelph, Scarborough, Toronto, and the Ski Shop in Oshawa.
Nordica. Comfort in action.
After one period of play, it's the Buffalo Sabres 3, the Hartford Whalers nothing. The scoring summary of the first period: Rick Sealing scored first in the game at the 38-second mark, Dave Andrechuk at 14:59, and then Phil Housley at 18:12. Shots on goal favored Hartford by a margin of 8-5, but Buffalo scoring on 3 shots they had out of the 5 to take the lead. Everything in the period went right for Buffalo, and everything went wrong for the Hartford Whalers, Ron.
Well, I'm reminded a little bit of something that Jim Schoenfeld said earlier today about just the work ethic as far as this Buffalo team is concerned. They're working hard. They're checking very well. They've made very few mistakes, and they got away with the mistakes they've made. For instance, we take a look at our Carling O'Keefe Sports Play of the period, and we're going to a play that came at the 14:30 mark of the period. This is one of the few turnovers that Buffalo committed. Outside the net, it's left for Playfair. Playfair clears it around the boards, but it misses Virta. Now the turnover at the blue line. Now watch this quick play in front of the net. Torrey Robertson will quickly get into position. Here it is, and he throws it right off the post. Right from there, the Sabres went right back down the ice and scored their second goal of the period down at the other end of the ice, and they took a 2-0 lead and subsequently a 3-0 lead. And it's been one of those periods where the good chances for the Sabres have led to goals, and the chances that the Whalers have gone for naught.
There was another one when the puck was in behind the goaltender Barrasso, and Playfair was able to make the save. So that's our Carling O'Keefe play of the period. It's 3-0 here after one period of play for the Buffalo Sabres. This is the NHL on CTV.
The enemy, snow. You never know when your car might lose its grip. Hence, the design logic for Vector. Goodyear's exceptional handling all-season radial. Its aggressive crisscross tread actually cleans itself for superb control on snow and ice. You either have Goodyear Vectors or you need them. Some people save on fuel bills by turning down the heat at night, but that makes it pretty cold the next morning before they turn it back up. Now you don't have to suffer to save. AutoStat by First Alert fits most thermostats. No wiring needed. AutoStat automatically turns the temperature down at night to save money and turns it back up so your mornings are nice and warm. Get AutoStat by First Alert, because waking up in the cold is for the birds.
Some people have been going to extreme lengths to get a bottle of dry white wine. Now you can relax. Introducing Alpenweiss Dry, a delightfully crisp, dry white wine. Just when you were ready to give up. Nice dry, Alpenweiss.
He believes in the same kinds of things his father believes in. He's straightforward, dependable, and honest. I feel like he could do anything. He's strong, but I think it has more to do with his character. He's there when you need him. That's because he's got confidence in himself. You can feel it just being near him.
The cool, refreshing feeling of Old Spice, the essence of a man.
For hockey at its best, check out the NHL on CTV and see the widest variety of competing teams and the best action. The NHL on CTV.
Buffalo assistant coach Craig Ramsey told us this morning the Sabres used to win games in the first period at home, and these Sabres look like the Sabres of old.
They do. They're doing some real good things out there. What they're doing is they get off to an early goal by Rick Sealing. Then they get into the hitting game where they start forcing turnovers. We're going to look at a couple of those hits right now. Here's the point shot by Dykstra. Goes by the net. Bothwell's going to the corner to get the puck. Now let's check to see if he looks to see if anybody's coming. He does, but he doesn't see Mikhail Anderson come in here. And it's a tough way to play the game like that. The second hit, you got to watch Mike Ramsey. The puck gets a turnover at the Hartford blue line. Gilles Hamel gets checked here. It goes over by the boards. Now watch Turgeon. He picks up a Charlie horse. We don't know if we'll see him for the second or third period. But Ramsey reads this. The puck comes to Turgeon, and here comes Ramsey. And he's got them all lined up, and he doesn't miss them. Ramsey takes probably as bad as Turgeon did, but he was had the momentum going. Now, one thing that the Hartford club is really having a problem is their defensemen are standing around and they're not taking people. Here's a point shot. Look at Samuelson to the left of your screen. He's standing in a zone where there's nobody. When you're in doubt, you're supposed to take a man and take him away from the net. The puck goes over on the boards. It comes back. The Hartford people have moved up. Samuelson ends up on alone in front of the net all by himself. Volino to Andrechuk. No mistake. That's 2-0. We're going to look at the next goal. It's the same thing. The puck's going to come from Andrechuk out to Housey. Now watch Ruff go to the front of the net. Housey pulls the trigger. Ruff is in front of the net all by himself. Gets checked too late, but Liut doesn't see the puck.
That made it 3-0 Sabres. Now let's go back upstairs to Dan and Ron.
And a reminder that following tonight's telecast, the Carling O'Keefe Sports offensive and defensive game stars will receive a Royal Canadian Mint 1-ounce gold coin presented by the Continental Bank. The Continental Bank, turning the wheels of business with innovative financial services for 60 years. For your business and personal banking, talk to Continental Bank of Canada. Bankers in action.
Well, Mike Liut gave up 3 goals in the first period. He's in his second year with the Hartford Whalers, coming over last year in a trade from the St. Louis Blues. And at the other end, Tom Barrasso, who had to face more shots, got more help, I think, from his defense, particularly Larry Playfair when he went in behind him one time and stopped a shot that had beaten Barrasso.
Well, there weren't that many chances in front of the net as far as Barrasso was concerned, and we'll start this second period with the Whalers playing a man up as in the penalty box as Lindy Ruff serving the final 50 seconds of his roughing or his high sticking penalty. And the fans, of course, here at the auditorium in Buffalo, and they have come out during I guess the first big snowstorm of the 1985-86 winter to watch a hockey game here, and they hope watch the Sabres defeat the Whalers in what is a key game for them, considering the way things have been going for this Buffalo team in the auditorium. It's interesting to see that the Sabres don't have the advantages they used to have playing in this building.
Here we go with period 2, and Hartford starting out in a power play, but Rick Sealing in there stole the puck, and now it's Kevin Dineen for Hartford. Checked by Sealing, and number 44 Babbage over to number 8 Siltanen. His pass intercepted in the center ice area by Pat Hughes. Now Babbage is knocked down. Torrey Robertson, and a penalty coming up here against Buffalo, and that's going to leave the Sabres 2 men short. Already in there is Lindy Ruff with 26 seconds left in his penalty, and now it's going to be Mike Ramsey joining him.
Well, Ramsey put the hook on Babbage as he was coming out over the line and just spun him around. Not the type of penalty you like to see, somebody coming out of his own end. They were zeroing in on Babbage, who they may decide is the wheelman as far as the zone is concerned. That's Babbage, number 44 over there, and here comes the hook or the grab or the clutch or whatever you want to call it. Whatever it was clearly a hold, and so we're going to see a big opportunity for Hartford here, and they practically have to capitalize right here if they want to get back in this game.
They'll have a 2-man advantage for 26 seconds. Face-off when we resume play is going to be just outside the Buffalo blue line. Hartford with 31 power play goals, 7th best percentage in the league, 23.7. And here's Ron Francis getting it to the Buffalo line, but it's shot away by Dykstra. Now Hartford with number 8 Siltanen. Feeding it into Lawless, is in the clear. He scores! Paul Lawless, number 28. And with the 2-man advantage, Hartford strike.
Well, let's take a look at it. A couple of nice passes, and suddenly he's in alone. Now, don't forget, this only expires the first of the penalties. So the Whalers will still have the opportunity. Watch the backhand here. Lawless was a big scorer with Windsor in the Ontario Hockey League, but a late bloomer. But you can see where he got his goals. He has a nice touch around the net, and he really gave the how do you do to Barrasso as he goes in and then shovels the backhand past Barrasso. And it's a 3-1 hockey game with 1:44 left in the Ramsey penalty.
21-year-old Paul Lawless had 49 goals at Salt Lake City last year. Now Hartford still on the power play with a 1-man advantage, and the Whalers could put themselves right back into the thick of this game. This is Siltanen, number 8, to Lawless. He's checked, and now Hamel for Buffalo. Dropping it over onto the point to Playfair, who just flipped it in. Ron Francis, number 10. Feeding it out to Dineen. Rink wide to Siltanen. He fires it in. Now digging in is Evason on the boards. Stuart Gavin back to Francis. Good save, Barrasso there. Back to Francis again. Francis to Stuart Gavin. Gavin checked by Playfair. They tie each other up. And now the puck back of the goal. Digging in is Evason. Hartford still with the man advantage, and Playfair roughs up the rookie Evason, and Lawless drops it around on the boards. Held in by Gavin. Trying to center, deflected by Lawless. Barrasso able to cover up on it. And then Evason gets tied up with one of the Sabres in front of the goal.
Yeah, you saw a nice move there in front of the net by Paul Lawless. As we look at Ron Francis, who is the very young captain of this hockey club, took over in that role after Mark Johnson was traded over to the St. Louis Blues last year. And he is a prime piece of hockey playing talent in the National Hockey League. Very high draft choice, but a kind of a second thought draft choice as far as Hartford was concerned. They wanted to get Bobby Carpenter in that draft, and Washington Capitals made a move and wound up getting the draft choice just before Hartford. So then Hartford settled for Ron Francis. I don't think they're too unhappy about it.
Here's Torrey Robertson. Hartford still on a power play. To Babbage at the point to Siltanen. Banned on that shot. Now Dineen pokes it into the corner. Dineen gets it again. Number 11. Dineen centering over to Francis. Back to Siltanen. One times it wide to the net. Here's Dineen. Centered to Francis. They hit the goal post again. Torrey Robertson deflected it and hit the post. Now it's Dineen. As Barrasso hammers away at Robertson in front of that net. And now Buffalo come up with the puck. And back they come with Hofford, number 33, clearing it in. Penalized player is back on as Siltanen fires to center. Foligno knocks that down, and now the play goes offside. Torrey Robertson has now hit the goal post twice in this game. This is the NHL on CTV.
They've given you the advantage and only moments to make it count. There's no second best for you in the game you play or the beer you choose.
That's why you just say O-V for that great taste in beer. O-V, O-V, oh yeah, you just say O-V.
Well, Torrey Robertson's going to be replaying this game a few times. Look at this. He just got it off the toe of his stick, and he hit the post with the shot. Second goal post of the night. And the fans got a little upset because of this. That was Siltanen hauling down one of the Buffalo players inside the zone. And they thought the penalty should have been called on that particular play.
Back to the live action is Samuelson. Cleared it to Tippett, but it's intercepted by Housley, who feeds Andrechuk, who gets it into the Hartford zone. Merson, number 4. Able to get it out of there. Now Jarvis jamming up on the boards. Get some help on the play from McDermott. Now here comes Housley. Shoots up high as he tried for the top corner. Now Foligno into Rupp, number 22. Put it right through the goal crease. Comes to the point. Dykstra couldn't hold it in, and it's cleared out of there by number 23, Paul McDermott. Now Andrechuk shoots it into the Hartford zone, and this is Alt Samuelson. Lead pass to McDermott. Oh, and then Tippett is rocked by a tough check there by the Buffalo defenseman Dykstra. He really leveled him. Andrechuk for the Sabres. Flipping it in. And the big rookie Merson, number 4, for Hartford. Banking it off the boards, trying to get it to Tippett. That's intercepted by Ferda. And here's Perreault. And across the line to Anderson, into Tucker. He shoots, he scores! A backhander there by John Tucker. And once again, Buffalo has a 3-goal lead.
Well, they just ate the second-year player, Old Samuelson, alive on that play. Watch him, number 5, inside the line. Now he goes for the deke, and all of a sudden, nothing to do. You hope you can whack it away. And coming across is Merson trying to help out a little bit, but a backhand shot by Tucker. And he just puts that one in, and it's 4-1 now. Other mistakes this young defense the Whalers are making is costing them.
For Tucker, his 10th goal of the year, by the way.
He's got a good touch around the net. He scored a lot of goals in the Ontario Hockey League. I remember Scotty Bowman talking about him. He got him as a late draft choice, I think 31st overall, and he said at the time that he liked his touch. He wasn't a great skater, but he liked his touch around the net, and he's proved it.
The scoring play was Tucker from Anderson and Perreault, 3:53 the time. And Buffalo with a 4-1 lead. Lead pass to Perreault. Has Tucker with him. The shot blocked at the defense by Quenneville, and there'll be a penalty here. 4-1, Buffalo leading. This is the NHL on CTV.
There's a new truck on the road. It's called Comanche. It's built by Jeep. It's worth a look.
Well, Joel Kenville's number 3. You'll take a look at the tripping call and what drew him the penalty inside the zone. Here it is. Up and over.
Buffalo with a 4-1 lead now on the power play, but Dave Babbage clears it out of there. Sabres 17th best percentage in the league with the power play, 23 goals, a 17.4 percentage. Here's Perreault. Now to Housley. Back to Perreault, but He couldn't get a stick on it. Housley flips it in, and Andrechuk had slipped in ahead of the play. Offside.
Well, you talk about the 17%. Put that in perspective. The league leaders are the Montreal Canadiens, are there near the top with a 30% power play. So that's one of the areas as far as the special teams are concerned with this Buffalo team that they've got to work on. You can remember when the French Connection was here and Danny Gare and those types are scoring 40 and 50 goals. You could look at them and say you could depend on them for a lot of goals in power plays. It just isn't happening for them anymore.
Right now, Buffalo has had just 6 shots on goal in the game to this point, but they've scored 4 times. Now Tippett for Hartford, clearing it down the ice. He and Jarvis are the penalty killers. This is Berta. Berta and Housley, the point men, with Andrechuk, Rupp, and Foligno up front. Here's Housley. Into Foligno. And offside is that play at the Hartford Whaler blue line.
Getting themselves a little bit with the play around the blue line with the offsides. There's Dave Babbage, big fellow, 6'2", 215 pounds, who is a playmaker. Quite a big argument that draft, remember, was should it be Wickenheiser or Babbage? Who's number 1? Who's the best junior player in Canada? Well, both Wickenheiser and Babbage have since been traded by the teams that drafted them, Montreal and Winnipeg. And the guy who's kind of sitting pretty through all of this was the 3rd choice that nobody talked of at all being at the top, and that was Denny Savard, who was taken by Chicago.
I think he's found a home in Chicago.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Here's Housley. Shooting it in for Buffalo. Rupp digs in to get it. Got it behind the goal. The Whalers' Babbage clearing it, and then Hartford got it all the way to center. Housley checked by Babbage, number 44. Babbage tried to move in, couldn't, and big Andrechuk, number 25 for the Sabres. Over to Rupp. Back on the point to Berta. Shooting. Liut the save. Rebound. Liut stopped back too from Andrechuk, and then he's able to smother it.
Well, they like to talk since Ken Dryden came into the National Hockey League about size for a goaltender, that you have to have it in this day and age. Well, our goaltenders tonight are 6'2" in the case of Liut and 6'3" in the case of Barrasso. There you see why you like to have size. And he just lay across the goal mouth. There wasn't a heck of a lot to shoot at. Take a look at it again. But Liut again in those close quarters. His size seemed to help him out a great deal through this. Probably prevented a goal. That, in fact, he got down and then reached out with that stick and prevented further play by covering it up.
Still 31 seconds left in the penalty to Quenneville. Here's Tucker on a face-off, but Evason wins the draw. Whalers try and clear it. Berta held it in, but then some persistent checking by Hartford's Evason cleared it down the ice. Buffalo with Hamel. Ahead to Tucker, now to Perreault. Perreault to Housley, number 6. Off the boards for Perreault. Back to Housley. Shooting. Liut, a stick save there. Perreault the rebound. Liut stopped that. And Bothwell flips it away. Here's Berta. His shot wide of the target. Penalized player. Quenneville is back on as Housley cleared it in, but right back comes Bothwell, number 24. Jim Bothwell couldn't center. And Tucker for Buffalo. Ahead to Perreault, who tips it in and then heads for the bench on a line change. 30-year-old veteran Tim Bothwell into center ice to Samuelson, who dumps it in. And Barrasso flips it back against the flow for Mike Ramsey. Ramsey being forechecked by Francis. Now Deneen into Francis. Francis trying to center to Lawless. A tip try, and it's grabbed by Tom Barrasso, and he held it for a faceoff. 4-1, Buffalo leading. This is the NHL on CTV.
Would you get a great-looking truck just for the looks? Nah. You'd get it because it's a great working truck. Here's great-looking new Chevy Wrangler from GM, Canada's #1 in truck sales. It saves you up to $2,190 with Wrangler options packages. $2,190. Tough, sure, but tough's not enough. New Chevy Wrangler has the power, the payload, the build, and the looks for $2,190 less. That's the Chevy way to go. Way to go, Chevy.
The Winnipeg Jets won their last time out. They double up Vancouver 6-3. They get underway in just about 15 minutes tonight at home to the Edmonton Oilers, the only other game tonight in the NHL.
Face off deep in the Buffalo zone. Pat Hughes against Ron Francis. Hughes getting the draw on Hartford. Shoots it over onto the left wing side to number 16, Rick Sealing. Deneen tying him up. Sealing clearing it in. Here's Hughes. Gets it behind the goal. Quenneville is there for Lawless. Nice play to Francis, who couldn't get a stick on it. But now Quenneville fires it over onto the other wing. Here's Dave Babich. Taken out by McKenna. Back comes Rick Sealing. Sealing shoots one wide on the short side. Missed by a couple of feet. Now Lawless couldn't get anywhere. Quenneville tries to Francis with Wallace. Pass to Deneen, who was the trailer, and he shot it wide. And then Lawless crashed into Barrasso, and the goal is knocked loose, and we get a stoppage.
Well, Lawless very much involved in the offense of the Hartford Whalers. He's number 28. As we watch this play unfold, Lawless is the one that winds up barreling into the goal mouth area looking for the puck, and he just got smacked up against the boards. Interesting thing about him was he was a high draft choice. He finished out his junior career because he couldn't make the National Hockey League despite his speed. And as we see him there, a little shaken up by his encounter with the post, they sent him down to Binghamton, and the Binghamton people said, we don't want him. And he was sent on to Salt Lake City, where he proceeded then to score just about 100 points and 49 goals, and came back up this year into training camp with a completely different approach to the game, and I guess a new confidence. When you score 49 goals in any league, even the International League, you feel a lot better about yourself, and he has made this team, and he's a good skater. He's certainly showing that tonight.
He's out replacing Turgeon on that line. Turgeon suffered a Charlie horse in the first period, and now Lawless shaken up.
That's a bad position to be playing.
They want to play
tonight.
left wing with Francis and Deneen. Here's a drive by Bothwell. Barrasso the save on that. Poked into the corner by Crawford. Robertson trying to get it in front. Crawford fanned on it, and here comes Polino. Number 17, Mike Polino. Long shot. Liut handling that. Fires it around onto the boards. Playfair digging in. He couldn't get it, and Siltanen for Tim Bothwell. Berta at the point, couldn't hold it in, and now there's Greg Malone, number 14. Malone shot right on. Barrasso the save. Malone after it again, centered, but intercepting it was Berta, and then Polino shot it to center. This is Siltanen to Crawford. Checked by Andrichuk. Good play to Polino. Leg save by Liut on Polino's shot. And then Playfair fires it back into the Hartford zone. Offside. 4-1. Buffalo still leading. This is the NHL on CTV.
When you first started out, you dressed like the next guy. Later, you'd wear anything to be part of the crowd. But now that you're making your own decisions, come into Tip Top Tailors. No one offers you a better combination of selection, quality, and value. And this week, you'll get unbeatable value on a colorful selection of solid shade V-neck acrylic sweaters. Now just $10.99. Over 2 million people shopped Tip Top last year and found a place to hang their hat.
We are back live in Buffalo with the Sabres breaking out of their own zone with Phil Housley. Housley looking to make a play. Just flipped it behind the goal to Tucker. Tucker centers. Missed Perreault at that pass, and the puck comes all the way to the Buffalo line. Now Dykstra almost lost it on the play to the forechecking Stuart Gavin. Now it's shot in by Buffalo. And going back is Ulf Samuelsson, number 5. Now to Mercer. Around on the boards to Stuart Gavin. Cleared to the Buffalo line, and Anderson drops it back to Housley. Housley clearing one into the Hartford zone, and Liut sets it up for Samuelsson. Brad Hartford has been outscored 4-1, yet they've played a much better game than that score would indicate.
They have, Dan, and what's happened, Ron Francis.
Well, they score right there on a centering pass to Dean Evason. They finally capitalized, but they've had all kinds of chances.
Well, the thing is, I was saying to Brad during the last break, what was happening was Buffalo is starting to get a little loose inside their own zone, and here all of a sudden is a 2-on-1 as the puck is over the line, and that's Evason setting it up on the far side, number 12, and it's back in front as Gavin just puts it back to Evason, and he just picked it out of midair and into the corner of the net. Watch it again now as Stuart Gavin, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, and he took it off his chest or his pants and then whacked it in. So suddenly it's 4-2, and I'll tell you something about the way this game is going, Brad. It looks like Buffalo has stopped working in their own zone and has started to look for the easy way.
They have. They've been moving in and not attacking like they were before, but they've been starting to make some bad gambles. And Hartford, because of that, is getting some good scoring opportunities. Ron Francis has set up a couple of guys who have fanned on shots. And if Francis is such a great player out there that the game could be tied right now.
Dean Evason getting the goal. That's his first goal of this season as he's playing in just his second game. And it cuts the Buffalo lead to 4-2. Now it's Pat Hughes, number 26 for Buffalo. Cleared it in, and Dave Babbage is back after it. Babbage beats one man. Hughes tied him up. Now Babbage got it to Lawless. Held in at the point by Hoppard. Into Hughes. Centers to Hamel. Shot blocked by Quenville, the defenseman. And Babbage starts back. Here's a 3-on-2 Hartford break. Babbage tried to center, and it was just tipped away by the Buffalo defense. Now Dineen. Number 11, Kevin Dineen, centered. Just missed Wallace. Here's Quenville. And starting back, the Buffalo Sabres. And now a trip on Pat Hughes, and that stops play at center ice, and a penalty coming up on the play against Hartford. This is the NHL on CTV.
The enemy, snow. You never know when your car might lose its grip. Hence, the design logic for Vector. Goodyear's exceptional handling all-season radial. Its aggressive crisscross tread actually cleans itself for superb control on snow and ice. You either have Goodyear Vectors or you need them.
Well, Tom Barrasso has picked up a slashing penalty. Both Dan, myself, and Brad saw the trip of Pat Hughes in the center ice area, which clearly warranted something in terms of the referee. But Barrasso had drawn this one earlier back inside the zone. Watch the action in front of the net. And whoa. So that's what drew the penalty. And so Barrasso, and this is a key moment in the hockey game now. Now watch perhaps if we can follow this up the center ice zone. Pat Hughes is upended in the center zone, and we don't see that at all. So that's when the whistle went.
I guess the penalty had already been called. That's why the second infraction at center ice was not. So a penalty to Barrasso.
Don't know who that is.
Who's serving the penalty?
Hamel.
That is Gilles Hamel. Anyway, it will be Hartford on a power play, and the Whalers have cut the Buffalo lead again to 4-2 as they operate now with the man advantage. It's Siltanen. Got it to center. Playfair dumps it right back in. Liut setting it up for Risto Siltanen. Long pass up the middle. Shot in by Wallace, but Stuart Gavin was in ahead of the play offside.
Well, it looked like it was just a little off time. Certainly, Gavin had the right idea. It was breaking for the line, but Wallace just a little slow getting to the pass and getting it off. There's Stuart Gavin, former Toronto Maple Leaf, who is the top plus-minus on this team and is playing good hockey for them. What they did when they traded Ray Neufeld for Dave Babbage, they switched Gavin from the left wing to the right wing to replace Neufeld, and he's done the job.
Hartford in this period out shooting Buffalo 8-6 in the game. Hartford 16-11 in the shots on goal. Now here is Gavin. Back to Siltanen, shooting. Barrasso the save, and then the Sabres are able to clear it out. Siltanen and Francis are the point men, and now the Whalers change their forward line combination. It's Malone, Dineen, and Robertson up front. This is Siltanen. Pass intended for Dineen off the mark. Goes the length of the ice. They roll Dineen, touch the puck first, so they wave off the icing. And the crowd boo, and I don't blame them. I thought that Playfair had touched the puck, but apparently not.
Brad, take a look at the replay. Did he touch it or did he not? These are all, he did. Good call. Good call, and a lot of hustle by young Kevin Dineen, who is noted for it.
Ron, And Dan, one thing that I'm watching on the Hartford power play is they're gaining the zone in the Buffalo end pretty easily. The reason is that the Buffalo 2 forecheckers are getting beat by a pass. They're not turning and going with the pass. And that last couple of times, not only one guy was beat by that first pass, but 2 guys were beat on that pass. And anytime that happens, you're going to get into the other team's end, you're going to get control, and you're going to set up.
What's causing that? Just a lapse in concentration? They're not playing as well as they did in the first period?
Well, they're not concentrating. It's not a question of that. What they're doing is they're going in thinking they're going to force the pass. The second guy is not backing up to make sure they both don't get beat. You shouldn't never... You want the puck carrier to be all the way back by himself, and if the other 4 guys are up in center ice, that's great. There's no danger. As long as the puck carrier, he can stay in his own end as long as he wants.
Here's Greg Malone, number 14, being forechecked by Don Lieber, who centered it, knocked away by Liut, and now the Whalers with Francis, number 10. To Malone. 38 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Francis. Couldn't clear it out. Sean McKenna has it. McKenna shoots, hits the side of the goal from a bad angle, and Francis, the Whalers captain, starts back. 25 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Dave Babbage. To Malone, into Dineen. Number 11, Dineen, back to Francis. To the other point to Babbage. His shot blocked by Sean McKenna, and Babbage has to retreat. Babbage's pass intercepted by Hughes, and Pat Hughes clears it in.
Hughes and McKenna have had a great shift here, penalty killing.
There's Torrey Robertson, now the penalized player. Hamel is back on after serving Barrasso's penalty, and here is Hamel. One-on-one against Babbage. The shot partially blocked by Babbage and then scooped up by Liut. And now Dineen and Foligno at the side of the net, or behind the net. Hasseltine and Scampanello go to work to separate those 2.
Now they get back behind that cage there, and they just ran. It looked like they ran into the cage, and between the 2 of them, they just decided that it was time to go. A little work for the 2 linesmen. It looks like it's hard work right now, getting the 2 of them to give up on it all. But Foligno has now been separated, and they'll head for the penalty box.
7:21 left in the second period. 4-2 Buffalo. This is the NHL on CTV.
An Air Canada plane takes off every 2 minutes, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. We connect with thousands of destinations in Canada, the U.S., and around the world. That's why Air Canada's new Express service can promise to get almost anything of any size to almost anywhere. And deliver. Yet prices start as low as $5.90. Air Canada Express. Where you want it, when you want it.
So the penalties have been issued to Foligno and Dineen, and they are slashing and roughing, minors, slashing and roughing to Dineen, high sticking and roughing to Foligno, so 4-minute penalties. So the wrestling match behind the net was not deemed a fight by Ron Hogarth.
And with Jim Schoenfeld you were looking at, and there's Kevin Dineen in the penalty box, and now Mike Foligno.
How many guys in the NHL in the history of the draft were ever drafted by their father? He's the only one I can think of. Good
question. Kevin Dineen, drafted by his dad Bill when he was the director of personnel for the Whalers. He's now the coach with Adirondack in the American League. Samuelson, as the puck cleared on right wing to McDermott, who gets it in, and Housley is back after it. Into forecheck. Whalers send in 2 men. Tippett couldn't center it. Now Rupp on the boards with Samuelson. Tippett got it into the corner. McDermott couldn't center. Now behind the goal, Jarvis to Tippett. Housley ties him up. Hartford digging it loose. McDermott back to the point, and Merzen shot off the target, but caught by Barrasso, and he held on to it.
Yeah, Doug Jarvis out there. There you see him playing in his 828th consecutive game. He has never missed one. 86 to go. 914 is Gary Unger's record. By the way, the assistant coach for the Buffalo Sabres, Craig Ramsey, has the NHL record for most consecutive games with one team. He played consecutively with Buffalo 776. Won the Frank Selke Award as the best defensive forward. There he is, Craig Ramsey. last year and retired promptly. And he's doing a good job, although he is finding out that it is tougher to coach than play this game, I think. He's got a young team that he's got a lot of things to teach to.
From the faceoff, puck is loose in the Buffalo zone. Now Housley getting it to Sealing. Rink wide to number 4, Dykstra. And Steve Dykstra shoots it in. Samuelson trying to clear it out. Housley had pinched in, held it in. Bill Housley, number 6. He's checked in the play, and now breaking out Jarvis, but he lost it. Now the Sabres couldn't hold it in, and here's a 2-on-1. Tippett with McDermott. Tippett shooting the rebound. McDermott was there, but couldn't handle it. And then the puck is cleared up over the glass. That's the way you're supposed to do it. One guy shoot, the other guy go to the net on the rebound, but McDermott couldn't handle it.
Well, you got to get the bounce, and it hasn't been happening too much for the Whalers in this game. Quick breakout. Tippett, number 15, out there along with McDermott. Now, Tippett kept it, just the one man back, and he is playing it well. Here's the shot, but the rebound is there, but it got the McDermott handcuffed right in front of the net, and he just couldn't get a shot away. So you could say that the goaltender didn't give him the good bounce. He sent it straight out, and McDermott was looking for something on his stick. Barrasso has been tested a few times in this game in the last period. And again, the 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s are happening with regularity out there, Dan, and that's not a good sign for Buffalo.
Really isn't. From the faceoff, Ramsey firing it around on the boards, but now they're going to whistle it down because of a hand pass, and we'll get the faceoff again back deep in the Buffalo zone. 5:59 left in the second period. And it's still Buffalo with a 4-2 edge.
Jim Hopper down there called up, as Dan mentioned, to replace the injured Dave Fenves. Just 21 years old, made his debut in Quebec earlier this week. Had the best plus-minus figure on the Rochester Americans of the American Hockey League. The reason he got the call.
Here's the Hartford line of Francis, Gavin, and Lawless, but Francis and Sealing just fell on top of the puck right from the faceoff. Lawless injured earlier in this period, back out there. Here's Ron Francis. You were talking about him earlier, Ron. Just 22 years of age. He's in his 5th year in the National Hockey League.
Played in the Sault Ste. Marie, and when it was drafted, came straight to the National Hockey League. It has 2 hat tricks already this year. One of them against the Canadiens in that 11-6 thrashing of Montreal, which is one of the worst defeats they'd suffered since the late 30s.
By the way, Francis and Michael Liut are second cousins. So they're teammates now. Puck shot in and bouncing around on the top of the goal for a moment. And Ramsey comes up with it. And then it's shot out of there by Lever. Racing down is Hamel. He's taken out of the play by Bothwell. Bothwell to Francis. Francis tipping it ahead to Lawless, number 28. Lawless shot right on. Bounced up high in the air and then was cleared by the Sabre defense. And back comes Lever. Into Hughes. Back to Lever. Checked by Samuelson, or at least by Siltanen. Puck back of the goal, and Siltanen tries to clear it. Held in by Hamel. Now Lever couldn't hold it in, and Siltanen breaks out for Hartford. He just banks it off the boards, and number 33, Hofford, is back to get it. Over to Playfair. Shot to center. Lever couldn't handle it. Babich now pinning the Buffalo player against the boards, and it's held, and we'll get a stoppage. Friday night hockey on CTV. This is the NHL on CTV.
Carlsberg Light. All right. Raise a cheer for the great light taste of Carlsberg Light. Good beer.
Dave Andrechuk has a goal and 1 assist already tonight. We will meet him in our second intermission. We'll have a player spend 2 minutes in the press box. Ron will have his play of the period. Brad, the highlights.
All right, Dan Matheson, 4:46 left in period 2. 4-1, or 4-2, I should say, for Buffalo. Now Babich intercepting a pass, and the Whalers attack. Babich shot right on. Barrasso the save. Rebound to Malone. His shot blocked by Berta. And now back on right wing comes Lindy Ruff. Number 22, Rupp. Just back in the Sabre lineup after being out with an injured foot. Got it to center. Crawford couldn't get anywhere. Back come Buffalo. Andrechuk and Quenneville fight for it. In comes Playfair for Buffalo. Centering pass comes all the way to the point. Berta to Perreault. Perreault beats one man, moves in, and then a shot blocked by Quenneville. Torrey Robertson able to clear it to center. Berta has it there, beats one man, carries in. Shot turned aside by Liut, and Dave Babich flipped it on the boards. Andrechuk couldn't get it, and here's Malone with Torrey Robertson. A 2-on-2 break for Hartford. Malone. Back to Berzin. His shot, Barrasso handled that, and right back come the Sabres. It's Housley. Leaving it for Perreault. Center to Housley. Liut handles that. And now Malone, number 14 for the Whalers. Got it to the line, but Tucker was there to knock it down. Now to McKenna. He handed it right to Crawford, and Hartford shoot it in. And both teams change on the fly. This is Tucker dropping it to Dykstra, who cleared it to the Hartford line. Berzin back to get it. Now to Gavin, who poked it to center, checking, getting very close again. It's Samuelson to Wallace. Wallace has Housley fell down. Picked up. Center to Wallace. He scores! Wallace combining with Dean Evason after the Buffalo defenseman Housley had fallen down on the play.
Well, we kept talking about it. They're gambling. This time they start stick handling with the puck outside the line with nobody back. And watch this now. As down, no, that's Housley just tripped over his own feet. And suddenly we've got a 2-on-0. Is also taking himself out of the play was Dykstra. And the puck winds up on the net as Lawless and Evason. Lawless took advantage, first of all, there of Housley. Now here comes Evason in here. Now watch, it's an open net, and a nice play made all the way around, except by the Sabres, of course, with both of their defensemen out of the picture. A 2-on-0 break. I'm sure that Barrasso sitting back there seeing his light pass before him. You see the two green shirts come storming in on him. But it all started when Housley stumbled over his own feet back there, and then Dykstra, instead of doing his own job, tried to cover up for it.
Well, you know it's Friday the 13th, right? That's Lawless' second goal of this game. Lawless from Evason and Samuelson. A scoring play, 17:04 the time. Pat Hughes had a chance. Now Samuelson trying to clear it out. And it comes to center ice. Knocked or shot back in by Jim Hofford, and we have an offside at the Hartford Whaler blue line.
Well, we've got a 4-3 hockey game right here now. The Sabres are still in the lead. We always talk about the Adams division and how tight this division is. The games within the division are going to decide it. And here's the way it has been going within the division. This is only opponents from within your own division. And look at Quebec. This is the reason why they're on top right now. 17 points with an 8-3-1 record. Buffalo below 500. Boston, interestingly enough, with the worst record within the division. The rest of them are around the 500 mark. The Canadians with the second best so far.
Those are the games they call the 4-pointers in your own division. Jim Hofford able to clear it. Bothwell knocking it down. Bothwell flipped it in. Hofford clearing it out for Hughes. Knocked away by Francis, and Sealing gets it for Buffalo. Sealing tipping it in for Don Lieber. Bothwell is there for Hartford. Whalers get it onto the boards. Tippett, forecheck by Andrechuk, and Tippett, number 15, has to circle and feed Dineen. Mike Ramsey pinching in to hold it. Now Dineen will try and move out. Check from behind, but Dineen battles. Held in by Buffalo, and Tippett takes over. Lost it to Polino, and then he was just poke-checked at the last second. Ramsey with less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. Over to Andrechuk. Bothwell breaks that up, and Berta clears one up high. Siltonen knocking it down to Dineen, and Dineen flips it in. Number 3 is Berta for the Sabres. Long pass at center to Lindy Rupp. He just fires it in. Polino going in to get it. He and Quenneville fight for it on the board. Shot around by Hartford, and then cleared out of there by the Whalers' Stuart Gavin. Here's Berta. Pass at center ice as the checking tightens up once more. There's Babich to Evason. At center to Wallace. Now in on right wing to Gavin. Saved by Barrasso, and he held it long enough that we get a stoppage in play. Hope you're enjoying our Friday night CTV hockey, and next Friday night, December the 20th, the battle for New York, the Islanders and the Rangers, 7:30 Eastern Time here on CTV. There's a great rivalry in all of the divisions of the NHL, and that's one of the very best.
Very seldom you see a bad game between those two. It doesn't matter how either side is playing at that particular time of the season. It's like the Montreal-Quebec rivalry. It just renews itself. There you see John Tucker, the former Kitchener Ranger, played on a Memorial Cup team there. Most valuable player in the OHL his final year of junior hockey.
Face-off deep in the Buffalo zone. Hartford win the draw. Babbitt's trying to get it for Gavin. Now behind the goal, it's Dean Evason trying to center it. Buffalo finally come up with it, and breaking out is Tucker. He's upended. The fans thought that Gavin should have had a penalty. I think Gavin thought he was going to get one too, because he looked around to see where the referee was, but the referee Hogarth let it go. Now Buffalo being very sloppy in their own end at this point. Perreault cleared it, held in by Quenneville. Puck bounces at the side of the goal. Held in by McDermott now. His shot block. Rebound. Evason stopped by Barrasso. Back of the goal to Robertson. Corey Robertson out in front. A shot. That hit his own man. McDermott had bounced wide. And then the Sabres clear it out of there. And as Quenneville goes back to touch it, icing called against the Sabres. We have just 4 seconds left here in the second period.
Boy, they find this Dean Evason. There was 2 good chances for him around the side of the net. He hooked one that really gave Barrasso a lot of trouble as he aimed for the far post. Barrasso just got his glove on it, bobbled a little bit, and then he got another chance right out in front. Here's the first one, as you see Evason, number 12, get the shot away. Now from behind the net, he'll get it again. And the puck will bounce out on the give on go. Watch for number 12 to come into your picture. Here he is. It's set. Fires it in there. Evason just up from the minor leagues, recalled on Monday due to the injury to Ray Ferraro. He's out of the Washington organization. Was acquired in a trade for David A. Jensen.
He's had a goal and 2 assists in this game tonight, Dean Evason.
Very much a factor. And look, well, here's one. We pulled the goaltender now.
4 seconds to go.
Ken Dryden used to say that he could time it, and 4 seconds is enough. But if you wait 5, you can be scored upon.
So 6 attackers here with 4 seconds left in the second period. That's the Jack Evans strategy. Buffalo almost got it out of there. Now Siltanen at the point, his shot wide. And the Buffalo player been able to shoot that puck immediately when he got it. He might have been able to score into the open net, but he fanned on it.
Well, as I say, the theory seems to be that 4 seconds is enough, but anything more and you're in trouble.
So the second period comes to an end. Shots on goal favoring Hartford after 2 periods by a margin of 25-13. But the scoreboard still favors the Buffalo Sabres 4-3. Stay with us for our intermission. This is the NHL on CTV.
Christmas shopping problems are over. It's the Bay's Great Canadian Sweater Sale.
Price could be a problem.
Only $19.99 for a Helen Harper or Paris Star Shaker Knit. Regular $32 at 37% saving.
Problem solved.
Is that all it costs at the Bay?
Canadian-made Shaker Knits in 15 colors, just $19.99. Great gifts.
It's on backwards.
Is that all it costs when you shop at the Bay?
That's all.
Boy, it isn't easy being your television set. Back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes I wish my tuner'd fall off. Now, if you got TV Guide, we could plan our time together. It's a real magazine, not just a TV supplement stuck into a newspaper. TV Guide has lots of interesting articles and a big video section each week. And it's critical. It says what's hot and what's not. You can trust it. And trust is something you don't mind paying for.
Thank you, Aunt Martha. Nope, not believable. Try. Thanks. Joe, pretend she just gave you a sundae. But she gives me stuff like this. Try again.
Hey, kids, look who's here.
Thank you, Aunt Martha.
You're welcome, I think.
This Christmas, give something kids love. McDonald's gift certificates, just $1 each, or 5 for $5.
It is a sundae.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Joe, say thank you.
Of McDonald's.
I forgot.
just hand it to Jelko. Jelko Express, overnight or sooner, you've got to hand it to Jelko. Jelko Express.
CTV brings you exciting U.S. Championship college football and festivities. The Tournament of Roses Parade, the Fiesta Bowl, Rose Bowl, and Orange Bowl. New Year's Day.
He was a first-round draft choice in 1982, and the Sabres are counting on him not just to score, but to score with regularity. Carling O'Keefe Sports presents Dave Andrechuk. Some might call it the curse of great potential. Dave scored 57 goals his final year in junior with Oshawa. Potential breeds high expectations.
I was originally drafted as a goal scorer, and I came into the Sabres, you know, my first year, not expecting to make the team. I just wanted to go out and prove myself, and you know, I had a fairly decent training camp. I scored a few goals, and I ended up, you know, playing half the year here my first year. And I think right now, you know, if the team is to be successful, there's myself and a few other guys that have to put the puck in the net, and hopefully my career is gonna continue if the team does well. And right now, you know, the team is we're off to a good start, and we got a good bunch of guys. We can all work together. You know, everybody's going to benefit.
Dave was drafted by the Sabres to add punch to their lineup, and that he's done by scoring 83 NHL goals.
Dave Andrechuk was selected in the first round, and he has proven to be, I guess, our top scorer. He's a very talented player, offensive-minded, and has a great shot, can score goals in several different ways.
I have to score some goals. That's what brought me into the league, and that's going to keep me there. So, you know, I've scored 35 goals in the last couple of years, so, you know, hopefully I can hit that again and try for some more.
Dave realizes he cannot be content with what has gone before. He must continue to work hard and improve his game, especially on defense.
Well, I think there's a number of things that you got to work on. You know, you can't always be satisfied with your play. You know, definitely I think I have to work on my defensive game a little bit. When I first came into the league, it's improved since then, but you know, I still have a long way to go. You know, hopefully I can just keep staying around the net and potting a few goals, and you know, and we'll have to take it from there.
Playing junior hockey in Oshawa and pro in Buffalo, Dave's been fortunate to have never been too far away from his family in hometown Hamilton, Ontario.
I think my dad is really supportive. You know, I have two younger sisters that get down to Buffalo a lot, and you know, in times when I left home when I was 16, I went to play hockey in Oshawa. You know, my mom and dad was only an hour away, so I got to see them a lot, more than usual, more than the average guy. You know, his family's a little farther away, so you know, the family has been behind me all the time, and you know, that's something every player needs. You know, you want to be able to play for somebody, and you know, especially if they're sitting in the stands, it's that much better.
And looking well down the road, Dave is currently aiming for a 10-year NHL career, although he knows he will be challenged by the talent yet to come.
I think, you know, the young guys coming in now are really putting a lot of pressure on the older guys. You know, just now being in my fourth year now, I've kind of noticed the pressure that's come on with the younger guys coming up and the guys getting drafted, and the players are getting a lot bigger and a lot better players. So, you know, hopefully if I can play out another 5 or 6 years, I'd be very happy.
Dave Andrechuk of the Buffalo Sabres. We'll be back in a moment. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, CTV's Friday Night Hockey.
Herb, don't answer your door during this commercial for Burger King's Bacon Double Cheeseburger Deluxe. It could be the competition trying to distract you.
Telegram.
Herb, they don't want you to know that we have a burger with lettuce, tomato, processed cheese, and sizzling bacon for $1.99 right now.
Meter man.
At $1.99, they'd do anything to get your mind off our flame-broiled beef.
Flowers.
The Bacon Double Cheeseburger Deluxe, $1.99. But hurry, Herb, it's a limited-time offer.
It's Grandma.
You know, friends, waiting in line for your money isn't fun. Canada Trust has a better idea. Their Johnny Cash money machines are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's right. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all day, every day, just for you. So beat the lineups. Pick your own time to get your money. Johnny Cash money machines from Canada Trust. Because, friends, life's too short to walk the line.
Boy, it isn't easy being your television set. Back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes I wish my tuner'd fall off. Now, if you got TV Guide, we could plan our time together. It's a real magazine, not just a TV supplement stuck into a newspaper. TV Guide has lots of interesting articles and a big video section each week. And it's critical. It says what's hot and what's not. You can trust it. And trust is something you don't mind paying for.
An Air Canada plane takes off every 2 minutes, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. We connect with thousands of destinations in Canada, the U.S., and around the world. That's why Air Canada's new Express service can promise to get almost anything of any size to almost anywhere. And deliver. Yet prices start as low as $5.90. Air Canada Express. Where you want it, when you want it.
Hi, I'm Mike Liut of the Hartford Whalers. Well, this spot is usually reserved for the boys in the press box. It's given to the players tonight. Each year during the Board of Governors meetings, certain rule changes are discussed. Well, this is done in the best interest of the game. This year's increased interference and holding calls have actually slowed the game down. These penalties are occurring away from the play or when two players are battling for position in front of the net. Too many penalties are being called during a game, turning it into more of a power play contest than a hockey game. The reason for this is that the governors have instructed the referees to call our game this way. These calls have resulted in the referees having a direct influence in the outcome of a game rather than just controlling it. On the other hand, the players have used this to their advantage. Example, obvious dives. Personally, I think the referees have to adopt the same format that the football referees do on pass interference. There's no harm, there's no foul. Also, if they don't see it, they can't call it unless they get some help from the linesman. Thirdly, if they recognize the people who dive, they can clean up that unsightly part of the hockey. It's a contact game. Let the players play it that way. If you don't like the contact, play the piano.
This is a Toyota truck. It's built to work hard. It comes in this one-ton shape, fuel-injected with a double-wall bed. It comes van-shaped with more cargo room than other small vans. And it comes extra cab long bed shaped with more bedroom and an optional automatic column shift for real 3-across seating. Whatever the shape, Toyota trucks work hard. Rugged Toyota trucks, the solid choice.
Who could ask for anything more?
Has the fight been set yet?
He's in Russia.
Are you nuts?
I must break you.
Rocky IV. Now playing at a Famous Players Theater near you.
Goalies already the glamour guys of hockey.
We got it all.
Good looks, good taste.
We even drink Miller Lite. Light is brewed right here in Canada. And we like it because it tastes great.
No, we like it because it tastes less filling.
Tastes great.
Tastes less filling.
Tastes great.
Tastes less filling.
Hey, wait, we better stop this.
Yeah, we don't want to take a chance at hurting our good looks.
No, you said.
Light beer from Miller, now brewed in Canada. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This winter, protect your trousers, overcoat, and the carpeting in your car from melted snow, salt, and mud. Get the revolutionary new Pant Saver Car Mat, the perfect solution to winter's messiest problem. The Pant Saver Car Mat is especially designed with a deep central pan that holds up to 16 ounces of water. And these exclusive molded ridges that keep your clothing from coming in contact with the melted snow, salt, and sand. Just think of what you'll save on cleaning bills alone. The Pant Saver Car Mat is resistant and durable and is available in a choice of colors.
After 2 periods of play, it's the Buffalo Sabres 4, the Hartford Whalers 3. In the second period, Wallace scored for Hartford at the 42nd mark. Tucker came back to score for Buffalo at 3:53, but then 2 in a row by Hartford. Evason at 9:28, and then Wallace again with his second of the game at 17:04. Shots on goal in the second period favored Hartford 17-8 in the game, 25-13. So the Hartford Whalers have dominated this game, but they're trailing on the scoreboard. But I got the feeling as the second period went on and on, Ron, that Hartford was coming on more and Buffalo was starting to slip.
Well, we talked in the first period, Dan, about the bad breaks that Hartford had, although I did think that they were outplayed by Buffalo, who were working very hard in the first period. That work ethic seemed to disappear as the second period unfolded, and I think that right now it's up for grabs as far as this hockey game is concerned. As a matter of fact, the Whalers have been playing the better hockey the last 10 minutes or so of the period. Our Carling O'Keefe Sports play of the period, we're going to look back at probably as much a symptom of all of the problems that Buffalo had in that period. A 2-on-0 break on goaltender Tom Barrasso. Old Samuelson started it as he put it through to Lawless. Now this is 1-on-1, and suddenly Housley goes down. Dykstra then will try to move in and help out, and as he does so, we wind up with the 2-on-0 break as it is over the line. Everson now setting it up. Lawless will put it into the net, and those were the you can't blame everything on a defensive lapse, except for the lapse came from Dykstra, not so much on the part of Housley, who fell down on the play. But it's just in that kind of a period, and it's going that way for Buffalo. And I feel sorry a little bit for Schoenfeld again, who seemed to get the work ethic early, and his team seems to have come apart at the seams as the game has unfolded.
Everson and Lawless have been a handful for the Sabres to handle. Well, more honors for number 99 of the Edmonton Oilers this past week, Wayne Gretzky. The honors just keep rolling along for Mr. Gretzky.
Well, this is the Lou Marsh Award, and how many awards is he going to garner outside of the ones that the National Hockey League gives? The Lou Marsh Award is voted upon by 3 Toronto dailies and the Canadian press, and it's a much honored or much sought-after award, really. Barbara Ann Scott is the only one who has ever won it 3 times. She did that in the late 40s. Well, Gretzky now has won it 3 times in the last 4 years. Barbara Ann Scott, of course, an Olympic champion in 1948. But Gretzky, they just keep coming on and on for him. He keeps setting National Hockey League records. He's only 24 years of age now. The best, I think, most dominant player of any sport anywhere within his sport. And for that reason, he is drawing accolades from everywhere, including areas in the southern United States and so on that don't know much about hockey. So he is the #1 ambassador for hockey as well.
Another honor for Wayne Gretzky of the Oilers. This is the NHL on CTV.
Boy, it isn't easy being your television set. Back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes I wish my tuner'd fall off. Now, if you got TV Guide, we could plan our time together. It's a real magazine, not just a TV supplement stuck into a newspaper. TV Guide has lots of interesting articles and a big video section each week. And it's critical. It says what's hot and what's not. You can trust it. And trust is something you don't mind paying for.
An Air Canada plane takes off every 2 minutes, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. We connect with thousands of destinations in Canada, the U.S., and around the world. That's why Air Canada's new Express service can promise to get almost anything of any size to almost anywhere. And deliver. Yet prices start as low as $5.90. Air Canada Express. Where you want it, when you want it.
When you first started out, you dressed like the next guy. Later, you'd wear anything to be part of the crowd. But now that you're making your own decisions, come into Tip Top Tailors. No one offers you a better combination of selection, quality, and value. And this week, you'll get unbeatable value on a colorful selection of solid shade V-neck acrylic sweaters. Now just $10.99. Over 2 million people shopped Tip Top last year and found a place to hang their hat.
When you want it to taste good, better use butter. When you want it to taste good, better use butter. When you want it to taste good, there's only one butter taste. Some things you can't replace, like the wholesome taste, the real good taste of butter.
When you want it to taste good, you can't replace the good taste of butter. It only takes a little to make a lot of difference.
When you want it to taste good.
Going east alone, I've taken a husband, one of yours.
After 40 minutes of play, the Buffalo Sabres at home are holding on to a 1-goal lead over the Hartford Whalers. Some nice fans greeting us here at CTV, hoping we have a whale of a Christmas, and may we all say the same thing to you. Hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. Speaking of a whale of a Christmas, Whalers are looking like a much better hockey team.
They are. The Hartford Whalers are back in this hockey game, and they started real quick at the first minute of the second period. And what happened is Paul Lawless got a breakaway on a great pass from Risto Siltanen. And we're going to have a look at that right now. We're going to have the puck going from Dean Evason to Risto Siltanen. Now watch, he's going to go rink wide to Paul Lawless, who breaks by the Buffalo defenseman. He goes in. Now watch Playfair come in and force Lawless to his backhand, and he makes a good backhand pass, or goal, by Barrasso. Our second highlight, the one guy that really makes the Hartford Whalers click, has got to be Ron Francis. He's the playmaker out there. This is a Hartford power play. Dineen has the puck. He's going to go to his favorite guy. He's going to go cross rink to Ron Francis. Now watch the point man, Siltanen. Watch Francis lay the one-timer out there, and Siltanen just one-times it, hits the stick and goes wide. He goes back over in the corner. Dineen, we're going to watch for this in the third period because he's going back over to Francis again. Now watch Torrey Robinson. Francis quickly to Robinson, off the post. The second post for Torrey Robinson. But Francis is the playmaker on that club. He's the guy they don't want to have the puck. The one thing that Hartford's doing now that Buffalo did earlier, Housley goes down in, bobbles the puck, and Tippett comes in and hits him. That's just what was happening. Forward's eyes just light up when every time a defenseman bobbles the puck and leaves himself wide open.
Sabres only had a 3-goal lead after one. Now it's only one. Let's go back upstairs to Dan and Ron.
And a reminder following tonight's telecast, the Carling O'Keefe Sports Game Stars will receive a Royal Canadian Mint 1-ounce gold coin presented by Meta Copiers. Meta Copiers, the reliable, affordable copier that expands as you need it with a size for every office. World-famous Meta Copiers.
Hard to get a feel for this game, Ron Roosh. You saw Buffalo take the lead in the first period. Hartford really dominate the second period. But just as soon as one team seems to be taking over, the other team comes on, and I think in this case that Buffalo has let Hartford get back into the game.
Well, that's what's happened, right on their own ice, too. Talking to people around the Buffalo organization, and what seems to have happened with them, of course, it's a very young team, is they seem to have lost that advantage that they used to have within their own building. This is a very small ice surface, and they used to have the perfect team to play in this building. And much the same way that the Boston Bruins have always put together teams that are perfect for Boston Garden. Good grind-em type players who can work along the boards and take advantage of that small center ice area. Buffalo isn't doing that anymore. Now you'll see some teams come in here that have good size and have people who can really play the boards, who take advantage of Buffalo. And that's not to say that this same personnel won't learn how to play here, but it's young yet, and it really is not doing it very well at this particular point in time. So I think as we look at Jack Evans, who's been watching his team improve for him, I think it's the team that plays the boards in this third period the best and plays that grind-em type game that's going to eventually win this hockey game. And in the second period, most of that, as Brad graphically illustrated in his highlight package, were the Hartford Whalers.
A Buffalo victory would increase Buffalo's margin on Hartford to 6 points. A Hartford win would cut that margin to just 2 points. And remember, the Whalers have played 3 less games. Here we go with the third period, and immediately Buffalo dump it in. Liut cleared it. Perreault in to steal it. Centered. Out in front of backhander, and Hamel shot it wide. Now Hamel gets away from Lawless. Puck over into the other corner, and Stuart Gavin couldn't get it out for Hartford. Gavin continues to battle. Dykstra held it in, and now Lawless flipping a puck up high in the air to center ice. Dykstra knocked it down, and it's called back anyway on a 2-line offside. Let's go to Dan Matheson for an update on the Winnipeg-Edmonton game.
It's an all-Smythe Division battle, Dan, and Murray Eves just called up from Sherbrooke has scored his first of this season. The Jets at home in front, 1-0, first period.
Here in Buffalo, early in the third, the Sabres lead Hartford 4-3 as you look at Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario native Ron Francis.
Remember when he came into the league, he wore number 4, Dan. He is now number 10. He changed back to his junior number when it became available.
Here's number 44 for the Whalers, Babbage, to number 11, Dineen. Shot it in, but The Buffalo rookie Hofford shot it back up. Now it's Joel Quenneville flipping it in. Going back is Ramsey for the Sabres. Off the boards for Lieber, held in by Babich at the point. And then Lieber's able to whack it out to center. Quenneville knocks it down. Lieber gets it again. Broken up by Tippett to Dineen. Dineen trying to get around Ramsey. Dineen dropping it back to Babich. Poked it in front to Francis to Dineen. Back to Francis, never got the shot off. And now Hughes for Buffalo. But that's picked off by Dave Tippett and flipped back in by Hartford. Number 33, the rookie Jim Hofford. Up the middle for Andrechuk. Goes all the way down the ice. This is going to be an icing call as veteran Tim Bothwell goes back to play the puck. 4-3 Buffalo early in the third. This is the NHL on CTV.
They said we'd gone too far. They said it would never fly. They said it couldn't be done. But we showed them the way. The news is out. Now people everywhere can enjoy easy cooling 473 mil tall boys in packs of 12 at a special price. Lightweight 12 packs of Miller, OV, Miller Lite, Carlsberg Light, and Carlsberg. The evidence stacks up. The case goes before the people, and the people win.
They're still in the first period in Winnipeg, but the score has changed. Scott Arniel's 8th of the year, set up by Howard, Chuck, and Elliott, and the Jets now lead 2-0.
Face-off coming up deep in the Buffalo end of the rink. The Sabres win it, but Torrey Robertson held it in, and now Andrechuk to Hannu Berta, out to Polino. That one off of Bothwell on the way down, so there'll be no icing, as Siltanen goes back for Hartford. Number 8 out of Finland, Risto Siltanen. Trying to clear it. Lindy Ruff intercepts to Andrechuk, and he couldn't handle a pass. He was all alone in the slot. Ruff centers again. And number 32, Torrey Robertson, flipped it to center. Play fair for Buffalo. Shoots it right back in. And this is Siltanen again for the Whalers. Over to Bothwell. Head manning to Malone. Took a hit, but got it to center. Andrechuk right back for Buffalo. Andrechuk with a backhand. Liut to save. Rebound. Cleared by Hartford. Now Berta. This shot, Liut handles that and is able to smother it. And now Lindy Ruff roughs up one of the Whalers at the side of the goal.
Well, as we watch them push and shove there, Brad, it looks like Buffalo's getting a little bit of a jump on them early in the period again.
Buffalo's doing a good job of forechecking. And one thing that I've seen throughout the game is I've seen the defenseman, one defenseman on both teams, this is happening to both sides, makes a pass to the other defenseman. The other defenseman immediately passes it up ice. And any team that's defending against that is going to key on that defenseman who gets the pass, making the pass up ice. You don't see the defenseman giving it back and forth once or twice to each other, or 2 or 3 times to give their forwards some skating room.
Well, through all that, there's a holding penalty being handed out to the Hartford Whalers and Tim Bothwell. And so now the key point in this hockey game, we'll get a chance here. Now watch number 20. Now who's holding whom here? All right, well, he's the one that got it anyway, and so Bothwell is off.
Holding is the call. 2:25 the time, and Buffalo with a chance here with the man advantage. Tucker, Polino, and Perreault up front. Housley and Berta the point men. Quenneville trying to clear it. Tucker intercepting. Number 7, Tucker for the Sabres to Perreault. Perreault back to Housley. Return to Perreault. To Housley. Shot right on. Scooped up by Liut. And then Liut cleared it himself. Housley held it in. But now Hartford break to center. And here is Dave Tippett. Tippett turned, then lost it to Polino. And right back come the Sabres. Polino to Perreault. Quenneville intercepts and cleared it away. Number 3, Joel Quenneville. Former Leaf, Colorado Rocky, and New Jersey Devil. Now on the Hartford defense. Here's Housley. Got it into the zone. Tucker tied up by Quenneville. And Quenneville cleared it out of there. And again, Buffalo have to retreat. Number 4. Dykstra leaving it for Perreault. Now to Andrechuk. Broken up by Quenneville and then cleared by Everson to center. The Sabres with Dykstra giving it to Housley. Into Perreault. Quenneville took him out, and then Liut flips the puck up. Fans complain that Liut could have had a penalty there for a delay of game.
Oh, look at Gilbert Perreault, who tonight moved into 6th all-time in the scoring race. Passed a pretty good hockey player on the way with the assist earlier in the game, 1,282. I think I said he was just a few goals short of his 600th. He's, I think, 6 goals short of his 500th career goal, which he'll be getting in the next, I suppose, in this month of December, or along the line. But great player. Over the years, I've said it before, if he'd played in a better media center than the city of Buffalo, New York, I think he'd have fared a lot better in terms of publicity and so on. But he is, even with that, very well respected around the league. You played against him, Brad. He come in on you a few times.
Well, one thing you didn't want to do, you didn't want to get beat, so you backed in. Then what do? You use you for a screen.
Here is Perreault. Buffalo still on a power play. Perreault shoots one. Liut got his left leg on that. Sabres Perreault winds up another shot off the side of the net. Andrechuk, number 25 for the Sabres. To Housley, into Perreault. Centered, Andrechuk missed it. Here's Berta shooting. Liut the save, rebound. Oh, and Liut a diving save to rob Perreault. And Hartford come back. What a save that was by Liut on Perreault on the rebound. Housley to Perreault. Number 11, Gilbert Perreault. Still controlling the puck. Penalized player Bothwell back on. Berta centered. Rupp just missed it. Now shot from the point. Blocked. It comes again to the point to Jim Hofford. Flips it into the corner. Babbage is there to tie up Perreault. He knocks it back, and Gavin, number 7, able to clear it out as Bothwell tipped it to center, but Sealing shot it back in. What a save moments ago by Mike Liut on Perreault. This is the NHL on CTV.
Zeller's gifts don't cost a lot. They just look like they do.
Thanks, Mr. Miller. They must be grooming me for management.
Jane, you really went overboard. I don't remember giving her a raise.
Save on this Panasonic Lady Shaver, just $54.97. Philips Beauty Set, also $54.97. And top name men's shavers, just $34.97 to $89.97.
From Baxter? Guess he drives that old clunker for sentimental reasons.
Give a gift from Zellers, and only you'll know how little you paid.
Well, that guy just had a heck of a shift, and not only that, the full 2 minutes of the power play he was out there, and he was very effective. This is the big one right here now. They seem to have Liut down and out. In comes Perreault on his backhand, goes to his forehand, and look at that save. And did he hit Liut or did he hit the post? Whatever it was, there was a great scoring chance for Buffalo.
Team's back at full strength now as Lindy Rupp flips it in. Samuelson behind his own goal for the Whalers. Little outlet pass to Everson, who knocks it off the boards. And Berta goes back to pick it up. Out onto the wing to Playfair, tried to hit Lever with that pass. Goes all the way down the ice, and Dana Merzen, the rookie, back to touch it, and icing called against Sabres.
Well, there's Dana Merzen. Played in Calgary last year. Big scorer. A lot of teams had him number 1 in the draft list that they took to the draft last June. Hartford got him 5th overall. And they are very, very pleased with the choice. I guess you take a look at a kid like that, Brad, and you look with interest. He's big, he's strong, and he skates, and he really skates well.
And at 18, he hasn't filled out, and he's not going to be a hockey player now that he will be 3 or 4 years from now. But he's got a lot of raw talent, and that's exactly what Hartford's looking for, that big, strong Larry Robinson type of defenseman that can really dominate a game for them.
Well, you put one defensive pairing out there with Dave Babbage on it, then add Merzen on another defensive pairing. They're set for a few years.
They are. They've got a guy like Babbage, you know, who can play 35, 40 minutes a game, and by the time that maybe he's starting to show a little wear and tear, they've got to come back with Merzen.
Deneen from the face-off with a shot wide into the corner for Hofford. It banks it off the boards. It was touched by Bothwell, so there's no icing. Siltanen cleared it on the boards, and Bothwell pokes it to Tippett. Tippett to Francis, back to Tippett. Now feeding to Deneen. Deneen into Siltanen. Here's Siltanen. Shoots, he scores! What a rocket by Risto Siltanen to tie this game.
Rocket isn't the word. A missile. Siltanen got every little bit of this one, but watch the breakout here. This is the whole story of this one, as the Hartford Whalers came out, and they came out so quickly. Tippett and Dineen were the key people in all of this. He's taken off the boards. In there, Siltanen now swinging away from the defenseman as he overcommitted himself on that play, and I think that was Hoffer that tried to move out on him. And Risto Siltanen with his 5th goal, and a big one, and it's a 4-4 tie. And back in the first period, we were saying, poor Hartford, they haven't had a break.
They're getting him now, and they're playing well in the bargain. 4-4 is Siltanen, blasting one by Barrasso to tie it. And it's Berta shooting it in. Quenneville is there to clear it to Malone. Now to Bob Crawford, number 25, long shot wide. Big rebound taken by Malone into Crawford. Back to Babbage. His shot blocked, and the puck comes to center. Quenneville has it there to Malone. He just dumps it in. Crawford going in to get it, and Crawford does come up with it. Couldn't center, however. Andrechuk intercepted. Dave Andrechuk to Foligno. Over onto the boards to Ruff, who fires it in. And Babbage is back to pick it up. Now taken by number 14, Malone, to Crawford. Ruff tying him up at the point. Held in by Playfair. Now Foligno for Buffalo. In front, Andrechuk checked, and Malone is able to clear it out for Hartford, with Berta back to pick it up. A 4-4 game. Berta to Perreault to Dykstra. At center now to Hamel, but the puck was tipped by a high stick. A 4-4 game here in the 3rd period. This is the NHL on CTV.
Wishing you could join in the Christmas cheer, Ebenezer? Wishing I could get my hands on that Commodore home computer. Well, they got theirs at Canadian Tire. This week, get the Commodore 128 personal computer, just $444.44. The 1571 disk drive, $366.66. And save on the Commodore 64, too. But why a home computer, Ebenezer? You're just an old penny pincher.
But with the computer, I'll know precisely how many pennies I have to pinch.
Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
Program reminder on CTV, the National Football League and a big American Conference West game will be seen tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern, Kansas City at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
Where sometimes they throw snowballs at the field goal kicker for the holder. You could throw a few snowballs around here tonight. Here's the long shot by Marsden, wide of the Buffalo goal. And then the Sabres, Lieber able to clear it to the Hartford line. Tippett, number 15. He's out replacing the injured Turgeon as the left winger on this line with Francis and Dineen. Now Samuelson held it in. Shot blocked, now cleared out of there by Sealing. And here's a pass to Lieber at center from Pat Hughes. Lieber to Sealing, shooting from a bad angle, and he fired wide. Now Ramsey at the point, blasted wide. Offered at the other point. Winding it around on the boards, and Dineen able to tip it into the center ice area. Lieber handed it right to Tippett. Here's Tippett. Carries and just flips it in, and then headed for the bench on a line change. Jim Hofford to Perreault. He's forechecked in the play by Crawford. And Ramsey back of his own goal, giving it to Hofford. He leaves it for McKenna. John McKenna being forechecked by Dean Eveson. Now Hamel for Buffalo. Couldn't get anywhere as Bothwell shot it back in. And Hofford for the Sabres. Flips to McKenna. There goes Bothwell back into his own zone. Bothwell shot it to center. Dykstra flips it high in the air back in for Buffalo. And Siltanen, who got that last Hartford goal, giving it to Tim Bothwell. Headmanning it to Eveson. 3-on-2 break. Into Crawford, back for Eveson. Center, deflected by Crawford, and Barrasso a save there. Now Eveson into forecheck. Steals it. Centered. Gavin missed it. Now Bothwell at the point. Into Stuart Gavin. Housley can't clear it. Here's Gavin. Behind the goal. Eveson trying to center. Knocked away. Eveson after it again. And Perreault for Buffalo. Clearing it down into the Hartford zone. And the Bluebirds here at Liut in Buffalo start to boo the home team, the Sabres. Here's Crawford. Couldn't get anywhere. Bothwell having it for Hartford, able to shoot it ahead, and Crawford races after it. Crawford trying to get it to Malone, and Andrechuk now clears the puck down the ice. Quenneville for Hartford to Dave Babbage. Tipped back in by Buffalo and now carried right back out by Quenneville. Malone had it for the moment. Andrechuk breaks away. Couldn't get around Babbage. And here comes Crawford. As the Whalers in this 4-4 game drop it to Robertson. Shot right on. Rebound to Robertson. Taken out of the play in Playfair. Here's to Foligno. Mike Foligno to Dave Andrechuk. Babbage broke it up. Now Foligno for the Sabres. Turns, just fires it around to Andrechuk. Back on the point to Playfair. Shooting, he blasted that wide. And Torrey Robertson, number 32, back for Hartford. Robertson just fired it in front of the net and then took a hit from Hartford on the play. Buffalo start back as Don Lieber, number 20. Works in. Francis was there to break it up, along with Merzen, and the Whalers shoot at the center. Ramsey tried to clear it in, and he cleared it up over the glass. It's still 4-4, the Whalers and the Sabres. This is the NHL on CTV.
An Air Canada plane takes off every 2 minutes, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. We connect with thousands of destinations in Canada, the U.S., and around the world. That's why Air Canada's new Express service can promise to get almost anything of any size to almost anywhere. And deliver. Yet prices start as low as $5.90. Air Canada Express. Where you want it, when you want it.
Well, two coaches there. One of them, Jim Schoenfeld, looking a little harried. The other guy just always looks fairly calm behind the bench. Doesn't have a great deal to say.
Tex Evans, not too talkative as Tex. Meanwhile, if one coach has to be upset, I would think it'd be Jim Schoenfeld. His team was up 4-1, and it's now a 4-4 game. Puck is loose in the Buffalo zone. Here's Kevin Dineen, centered. Tippett was open, but the pass never got through, and back come Buffalo. Hughes couldn't get around the defense as Merzen broke it up, and now it's Ron Francis. Francis leaving it for the rookie Merzen, moving in. Dana Merzen taken out by Ramsey. And now two Sabres pin Merzen against the boards. And we'll get a face-off in the Buffalo zone. I know that Jim Schoenfeld would like to hear this answer. I know that Scotty Bowman would. What's happened to Buffalo, who had a 4-1 lead at one time, Brad?
Well, getting a little bit of sloppiness out there is one statement. There's a lot of reasons for it. There's a lot of little things. I see the Buffalo Wingers. Nobody has sure control of the puck in the Buffalo end. The Buffalo Wingers are going over and standing on the boards. I mean, what you want to do is move in to make sure the point man, Hartford point man can't get it. And then once you get control, good control, now you move over the boards, position yourself for a pass. It's a matter of maybe standing in the wrong places at the wrong time.
And they haven't been, it seems to me, Brad, they haven't been able to solve the forechecking pattern that Hartford is throwing at them. They've got a good system working, and they just seem to be bottling them up. Nothing's moving.
Hartford's sending two men in real quick. They're keeping their third guy high out by the blue line. And Buffalo's wrapping the puck around the boards, and the Hartford defensemen are pinching.
Sabres clear it to center. Siltanen flips it right back in. And Phil Housley, number 6 for the Sabres. Less than 9 minutes to play in the third period. Sean McKenna at center. McKenna for Dykstra. Backhander wide by 3 or 4 feet. Here's Perreault to Hamel. Gil Hamel gets it in front. Oh, and a blast is high off the glass there by McKenna. Now Perreault to Hamel. Shot off the stick of the defenseman and wide. And then it's cleared by Lawless down into the Buffalo zone. Dykstra back to get it. Long shot. Liut handles that. Siltanen taking over for the Whalers. Siltanen lost it to the forechecking of Lindy Ruff. Ruff moves in front. Backhander comes right back to Ruff. Falls, shot it, and it's blocked at the defense. And the referee lost sight of that puck. Whistle the play down. This is the NHL on CTV.
It's easy to tell a guy who owns a Black & Decker workmate from the guy who doesn't. The guy who doesn't tends to be determined, resourceful, inventive, a master of improvisation. On the other hand, the guy who owns a Black & Decker workmate is none of these. He's just plain smart. Workmate and workmate accessories from Black & Decker.
And on CTV's Wide World of Sports, Downhill Fever coming up tomorrow as part of Wide World at 2 o'clock tomorrow Eastern Time.
Here's Andrechuk for Buffalo, a shot off the shoulder of Liut, and the Sabres came close there. Doug Jarvis now for Hartford, shooting it down the ice. Barrasso out of the goal. Didn't play the puck, let Foligno play it, and now the icing call is called against Hartford. That was not whistled down as quickly as it should have been.
Well, the second linesman didn't see the signal from the linesman who was down making the call, because what had happened to him was he cut in front of the net, and I think he lost sight of him. The arm went up, but the whistle didn't go as the puck was stopped. It was Ray Scapanello who raised his arm, and Ron Asselstein just didn't blow the whistle. So we'll get the face-off down in the Hartford zone. Here it is here, but there was no question about the icing. We see both Foligno in there. There he touched it, and that's it. Let's go downstairs right now. Dan Matheson's got an update for us.
The Edmonton Oilers have given up 16 goals in their first 2 games as they came to Winnipeg tonight. They've given up 3. The first period is over. Perry Turnbull scored in 18:09 of that first frame power play goal, his 12th of the season, assisted by Boschman and Arneal to make it 3-0 Jets.
What's wrong with the Oilers, Mr. Roosh?
Oh, I think they're just getting bored with things a little bit. Well, what's wrong with them? What have they lost? 5 games now?
5.
Something wrong.
Face-off going to be deep in the Hartford end. Brad, you were mentioning earlier Hartford's sending in 2 men forechecking. How should Buffalo be counteracting that?
Well, the Buffalo Sabres are keeping their centermen out real high. Now what you got is the 2 wingers and the centerman out at the blue line with 3 Hartford players. The centerman's got to come back in deep around the hash marks, and they've got to use the 3 guys against the 2 Hartford forecheckers to get out with short passes.
Face-off is deep in the Hartford zone. Perreault on this face-off against Jarvis, and Jarvis wins it cleanly. Whalers, Quenneville getting it to Babbage. Babbage, a behind the back pass to Crawford. He missed it, but here's Jarvis. Rink wide to Malone. And he's taken out. And Berta has it for the Sabres. Long pass to Hamel. Dave Babbage is there to intercept. Shot at center. Playfair trying to clear it in. Now taking over is Malone, number 14 for Hartford. Dave Babbage flipping it to the line. Broken up by Berta. Now Merzen over the boards on a change, takes control, and here's Malone into Crawford. Crawford to Torrey Robertson, and that just misconnected. And now Barrasso banged into the back of the net in a collision, is down on the ice and injured.
Well, a collision in there, a quick pass, Crawford in front of the net, and it looked like it was a good close play right in front as he came right into the goal crease for the pass, and it looked like just standing up and playing his position. He took a good wrap. We'll take a look at it now and watch Barrasso in front. There's the pass out, and he is just belted back into the cage. And he hit that post which runs down the center of the cage. This will give us a better idea of exactly what happened. There's the collision, and he just went rattling back in there. It looks like he glanced the side of his helmet off the bar that runs down the center of the cage. Now they've changed the design of these nets after the Mark Howe incident when Mark was playing with the Hartford Whalers. If we can look in the back of the cage, you can see that now there used to be a big kind of a V that stuck out along the ice, and Mark Howe suffered a very serious injury as he hit that. Now they don't have that at all, but they do have that bar that comes down, and that's what seemed to bother Barrasso. He's slowly getting up, and
Barrasso seems to be indicating that he was kicked by a skate or something on his left leg, and as you saw the replay, maybe when his teammate slid in, maybe his skate caught Barrasso. He seems to be okay, though. It's a 4-4 game. This is the NHL on CTV.
Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
What is it?
Share the fantasy. Chanel number 5.
Available at Simpson stores near you.
Get a chance perhaps to take a look at this one again, and let's watch now for the skate right in front of the net as he goes down. And I still, the right foot came up, and he may have caught him across the leg. In any case, he's all right. He's staying in the game. They're tough goaltenders.
6:43 to play here in the third period. Buffalo 4, Hartford 4. Big Adams Division confrontation. Merzen from the point, shot wide. Digging in is Gavin. Gavin, number 7. Now tied up by Playfair, and the puck comes to McKenna. John McKenna to Hamel. Tied up by Merzen, gone off a weak shot. Samuelson then cleared it away, and there'll be a penalty here to Hartford, and Buffalo will have a power play chance. This is the NHL on CTV.
Sun up to sundown, the day is long, working close to the land, gonna make it strong. Bring your thirsty self right here, you got the time, we got the beer, for what you have in mind, come on, it's Miller time.
The clean, smooth taste of Miller High Life. That's Miller time.
Well, you get calls late in a hockey game. You don't get them too often unless they prevent a scoring chance. And this was one of them, as Merzen prevented Hamel from going to the net with what appeared to be a breakaway. Good penalty as far as Merzen's concerned. Good penalty on the part of the referee, too, Ron Hogarth.
Hooking was the call. 13:38 the time. And in this 4-4 game, Buffalo with the man advantage. Here's Perreault to Housley. Over to Perreault, back to Phil Housley. Shooting wide by a couple of feet with that booming slap shot. Here's Andrechuk for the Sabres. To Perreault. Now to Housley. Back to Perreault. Shot blocked by Quenneville. And Quenneville has been really effective, particularly when they've been shorthanded all night, Ron.
An excellent game. He's teamed up with Babbage on a defensive pairing there, and he's been very effective. They're two big guys.
Here's Housley. Tried to shoot it in. Quenneville broke it up again, and then Tippett kicked it to center. Now Berta to Perreault. Dave Babbage is there to break it up. Sabres with the man advantage. Housley, number 6. Flipping it in, and Babbage is back for Hartford. Cleared it. Buffalo coming up with it. Stuff-in try. Liut can't freeze it. Now all in front, the backhander. And Liut stopped that one from close in by Perreault. And that's twice in the third period that Liut has robbed Perreault. Here's Tippett dropping it back. Quenneville shooting one in off the blocker of Barrasso. And Housley has it. 40 seconds left in the Whaler penalty. Housley ahead on the wing, and the shot by Ruff is wide of the target. And right back comes Samuelson. And he banks it off the boards down the ice. Now number 4, Steve Dykstra, the Buffalo rookie. Headmanning it to Gilles Hamel. Into Lindy Ruff, but Stuart Gavin tipped it away. And Samuelson cleared it. Housley knocking it down. Into the corner, and then cleared by Bothwell down the ice. And that should end the rest of the penalty. Bad hop off the boards with the puck. But it's taken by Dykstra just as Merzen comes out of the penalty box. Merzen breaks a rush up. Here's Francis. Oh, he's hammered down by the rookie Hoppard. And Hoppard beats Seeling. Rick Seeling for the Sabres. Samuelson skates him off. And Paul Wallace gets it to Francis. He's checked by Lieber. And now Tim Bothwell for the Whalers to Ron Francis. He's sandwiched between two players, but managed to clear it to center. Less than 4 minutes left in regulation time. Buffalo shooting it in. And Liut clears to Samuelson. Long pass at center. Wallace couldn't get around the defense, and it's cleared back out. Now Seeling after it. It's called back on a two-line offside, and we're down to 3:36 left in regulation time. It's a 4-4 game.
Well, Rick Sealing, who, with his family, very much involved in the harness racing industry. They had a mare named Bardot Hanover. Now passed away, but has passed on some tremendous racing flesh. There's some great saves made by Mike Liut on Gilbert Perreault. Look at this now, as all kinds of traffic in front. He makes the first big save on Perreault, makes a second save, stays on his feet. He was on his feet through his and concentrating on the puck. Very much involved in that sequence. And Perreault hit the side of the net back about the 3-minute mark, and about 25 seconds later, he had Liut cold, and then this one, and you have to say that this has been his period, both on power plays, by the way. He's been very effective on the power play tonight.
Teams are now back at full strength as Crawford drops it to Babbage. That shot wide. Now Robertson for the Whalers. Taken out by Berta on the play. And now Buffalo take possession. And Playfair clears it to Ruff at center. Ruff feeding it into Andrechuk. Quenneville is there. Knocking one for Malone. Malone being forechecked by Andrechuk. In comes Ruff to get it. Ruff shot blocked by Quenneville. And it bounces to center. And Berta goes back. Cleared to Playfair. Now ahead to Foligno. Dropping one back for Andrechuk. And Quenneville flat on the ice with the old sweep check to break it up.
Well, he just swung his stick around and got contact with the puck.
Here's Evason for Hartford. Now to Lawless, who dumps it in, but Gavin, a little over anxious, broke in ahead of the pass on right wing and was offside in the play.
Well, Stuart Gavin, as we mentioned, he comes from the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's kind of a useful player. He was traded for a much disenchanted Chris Kotsopoulos, who had run into holdout problems with the Whalers. They traded him to Toronto. Gavin has come over and done the job, and as I mentioned earlier, he was forced to move from left wing to right wing with the trade of Ray Neufeld. Always, when you make a trade like that, you leave a hole, and he's come on, and he scored 5 goals in his last 7 games. Been very effective tonight.
We're down to 2:45 left in regulation play. Paul Lawless over at the bench to get himself a new stick. That's the reason for the delay. Lawless, by the way, has scored 2 of the Hartford goals tonight. Evason and Silton in the other Whaler goals. Sealing, Andrechuk, Housley, and Tucker have scored for Buffalo. Now this is Dykstra in his own zone. All the way to center ice to McKenna. Now to Perreault. Perreault checked, but got it back to McKenna. And Sean McKenna flipped it behind the goal. And it's taken by the Whalers' young Dean Evason. He couldn't clear it. Now Perreault centered. Liut intercepted that pass out. And here's Samuelson to Gavin at center ice for Lawless. Lawless knocked spinning by a hip check by Housley. Housley couldn't get it out, though. Here's Gavin. Gavin moving in, centered. They score! By youngster Paul Lawless with the hat trick. And Hartford takes the lead for the first time. Paul Lawless with the hat trick.
Well, again, when Housley put himself out of position up near the line, we wound up with a 2-on-1. Breaking in there is Gavin, and he just sets it up. And all alone in front, getting behind the defense in Foligno is Lawless. What a game he's had. He had 7 shots on goal in the first 2 periods. He's added a couple more in this period. He may be up around 10 at this point. And he has scored the hat trick. A terrific game. And he is now put the Whalers in front after they were down 3-0 at the end of the first period. 5-4 Whalers.
Paul Lawless, 21-year-old native of Scarborough, Ontario, the Hartford hero so far. It's 5-4 for the Whalers. Here's Sealing and Quenneville in the corner. And Quenneville knocks it back to Babbage behind the net. Over onto the boards to Dineen, held in by Lieber. Ron Francis checked him. Now Francis couldn't get it out, and Dineen lost it. Shot high and wide as Hughes let it go. Now Sealing flat on the ice trying to center one. And finally Dineen for Hartford. Cleared it, intercepted by Sealing. Liut saved. Lieber the rebound. Shot that wide, and Tippett, with the Whalers in big trouble, cleared it out of there. And he cleared it off a Buffalo player, so there's no icing. 1:10 left. 5-4 Hartford. Lead pass to Polino. Trying to center. Big save by Liut on Andrichuk. And then Liut is able to smother it. And now the sticks go up at the side of the Hartford goal.
And just as Andrichuk was getting loose in front of the net, they had pulled Barrasso. So the extra attacker is on the ice. Lindy Ruff having a few last words. Let's take a look at this one now. Is right in front. Good backhand there by Andrichuk. And again, Liut standing in there. And he's made the saves when he's had to here in the third period. And he has been pressed a little bit here in the third period. The shots on goal are in a lopsided way on the side of the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, remember next Friday night, the Islanders and the Rangers. Right now, they're in a dead heat for third place in the Patrick division. And we'll have all the action from Madison Square Garden next Friday night, 7:30 Eastern Time. Right here tonight, we have 1:01 to play. Hartford with a 5-4 lead, and Buffalo just about tied it up on that last chance they had.
Shots on goal in this period, Dan, are 13-5 favor the Sabres. And they just not put it in the net. The 2 goals have gone to the Whalers. It's funny how things even up when you look at that first period and the way nothing was going right for the Whalers in this period. It's been Liut, and the breaks, the big mistakes have been capitalized upon by the Whalers down at the other end of the ice on Barrasso, who is now sitting on the bench in the extra attacker zone.
Hartford has scored 4 straight goals. They had one time trailed 4-1. They've scored 4 in a row and lead at 5-4. Face-off won by Buffalo. Andrichuk centered. Malone intercepts. Out to Evason, and his shot blocked by Housley. 6 attackers for Buffalo. Here's Andrichuk. Long shot. Liut a glove save. Scooping it out onto the boards. Held in by Buffalo, but now a long shot. They score! Evason souls it up for Hartford with 42 seconds to play. And for Dean Evason, his second goal of this game.
Well, in this instance, coach will be happy he got the goal, but he should have gained one more zone before he let it go. He had a bit of room. If he'd missed the net, there would have been an icing and another face-off down on the other end of the ice. He'll take the goal. Second goal of the game, and that makes it 6-4. And what a comeback for these Whalers, who, as we've said time and again, down 3-0, but you could see it coming, and you could see it coming in the second period, that things were not going to go well for the Sabres.
Here's Ruff trying to center. That's intercepted. And back comes Gavin. The Buffalo goal empty again. Gavin trying to stuff it into the net. He couldn't. Neither could tip it. And then Housley cleared it away. 20 seconds left. Gwenville shooting the puck back to the Sabre line. Here's Berta. And Berta to Perreault. Perreault shooting one. Liut got a piece of that with his stick. Now Babbage able to clear it to Gavin. He couldn't get it out. Housley lets a shot go. Liut a stick save. This game is over. And the Hartford Whalers defeat Buffalo 6-4. Hartford down 4-1, score 5 goals in a row. And the Whalers have moved to within 2 points of 4th place Buffalo in the Adams division. And the Whalers have 3 games in hand. Shots on goal in the third period. Buffalo 16, pardon me, and Hartford 6 in the game. 31 for Hartford, 29 Buffalo, and a big 6-4 victory for the Whalers over the Sabres. This is the NHL on CTV.
Boy, it isn't easy being your television set. Back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes I wish my tuner'd fall off. Now, if you got TV Guide, we could plan our time together. It's a real magazine, not just a TV supplement stuck into a newspaper. TV Guide has lots of interesting articles and a big video section each week. And it's critical. It says what's hot and what's not. You can trust it. And trust is something you don't mind paying for.
On your Christmas list, have you got someone hard to please? Then here's a tasty solution. The Keg Gift Pack.
Too fabulous.
Just buy any Keg gift certificate, and for just $1 more, we'll box it with a hearty glass mug. So give a Keg gift certificate, because the next best thing to enjoying a Keg night out is giving one. The Keg Gift Pack.
The Keg's got it. Remember the Keg. The Keg's got it.
It's on now at the Brick. Do not pay till summer. That's right, just put 25% down. Do not pay the balance till summer 1986 and pay no interest on all furniture, selected appliances, TV, video, and stereo. Buy this Sanyo micro convection oven, only $6.98. This Sanyo microwave oven, only $2.98. And this Liut Moffett microwave is just $2.48. Guaranteed lowest prices, or we'll write you a check for the difference. Just in time for Christmas. Do not pay till summer at all Brick locations. Check our full-color flyer.
And now the Carling O'Keefe Sports offensive and defensive game stars as selected by our broadcast crew. From the Whalers, the man with the hat trick, Paul Lawless, is the offensive star. And also from Hartford, Joel Kenville is the defensive star. Each of tonight's stars will receive a Royal Canadian Mint 1-ounce solid gold coin, presented by the Continental Bank of Canada, Bankers in Action. And by Meta Copiers, the copier that expands as you need it. We'll meet our stars in just a moment. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, CTV's Friday Night Hockey.
They said we'd gone too far. They said it would never fly. They said it couldn't be done. But we showed them the way. The news is out. Now people everywhere can enjoy easy cooling 473 mil tall boys in packs of 12 at a special price. Lightweight 12 packs of Miller, OB, Miller Lite, Carlsberg Light, and Carlsberg. The evidence stacks up. The case goes before the people, and the people win.
Folks, we got trouble. Yeah, we're in terrible, terrible trouble. We gotta fix these cars and make them run like new. Oh, the idle car is trouble's playground. Trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here in River City. With a capital T and it rhymes with C and that stands for car. That stands for car. Oh, yes, we got trouble, trouble, trouble. Oh, yes, we got trouble. We're gonna fix that trouble. Put an E. Double S-O. Double S-O. That spells S-O.
No trouble.
People can't say enough about Christmas gifts from Zellers. Only Zellers let you give this much for this little. Like these cozy men's and ladies' brand name slippers, all under $10 a pair. These young men's shirts, style for fun, just $11.97. And women's pullovers and cardigans, just $16.97. So give a gift from Zellers.
Whoa!
And of course, you don't have to say a word about how little you paid.
Whoa!
Look how it glitters, look how it shines. Consumers find jewelry at Christmas time.
The cool elegance of sterling silver chains, available in a variety of styles to please. This solid wood Westminster mantle clock is quartz accurate and timely priced for Christmas, as are these quality men's and ladies' water-resistant Swiss M watches.
A time for loving. Consumers find jewelry. A time for giving.
The Jewelry Boutique at Consumers.
Twice tonight, the Buffalo Sabres led the Hartford Whalers by 3 goals, but the Whalers come back to win 6-4. Our location right next door to the dressing room. Players are saying things like huge, big win, great win. Of course, in the Adams division, every win is big, and this one means the Whalers are now only 2 points back. Our offensive star, Paul Lawless, hat trick tonight, first in the NHL.
That was it. That's the so far the height of my career. It's a great feeling, especially playing a team like Buffalo and come from behind. It was a big thrill for me.
And you and Dean Evason seem to play real well together.
Yeah, that was Ray Ferraro, my regular centerman, had been hurt, and they called Dean Evason up from Binghamton. And last game was the first game. We played real well back there in Hartford, and tonight we played quite a bit, and things worked out just fantastic for us.
Well, we've got some pictures of the game-winning goal tonight. You scored this one. This was number 3. Tell us about it.
Well, I'll tell you, as you see, the puck was up by the blue line. And Stuart Gavin took the puck in the corner, and I was just circling in front of the net, and you know, I was just screaming for it. And he made a great play right here, and you know, those are the easy ones to put in when they make plays like that. And I was in the right spot at the right time.
Work, huh?
That's right. Stuart Gavin does a little work, and I get all the glory. But
third in the night.
That was it.
What a thrill! Carling O'Keefe Sports sends $500 to the Minor Hockey Association of your choice. Where would you like to send the money?
I'm going to have to send it back where I started hockey, back in Toronto, the MCHL. Back there in Toronto.
Well, I'm sure they'll appreciate the money. Congratulations, big win, great effort by you tonight.
Thank you.
Paul Lawless, our offensive star tonight, back to meet Joel Kenville, defensive star, in just a moment. Whalers win a big one tonight, 6-4 over the Sabres. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, CTV's Friday Night Hockey.
You're a part of the music. You get your kind of tune. When the workday is over, you get the music inside of you. Bring your first yourself right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Come on, it's Miller time.
The clean, smooth taste of Miller High Life. That's Miller time.
Get your pizza boss! Get your pizza boss!
Pizza just like Mom used to make.
At Pizza Delight, we know you're after great taste. Our fresh out-of-the-oven pizza is made with the finest ingredients.
At Pizza Delight, you'll discover its taste above all else.
At Pizza Delight, the drink's on us. When you buy our new party pizza, get 750 milliliters of Coke.
Pizza Delight and Pizza Patio. Taste above all else.
The Whalers now just 2 points away from that 4th and final position in the Adams Division, which spells playoffs. Quebec, Boston, Montreal, and Buffalo in front, but maybe the Sabres not in front for long. Let's ask Joel Kenville about that defensive star tonight. Sabres have been a powerhouse for years and years. Your club is coming on strong, but these Sabres just don't seem to be the team they used to be.
Well, I don't know. When you come in their building and we've been down twice, 3-0 early in the game, and we've come back to win twice, it's got to give us a lot of credit because, you know, we had trouble winning in the Adams Division on the road the last couple of years, but 2 come-from-behind wins like that, and a 3-0 win earlier in the year in Quebec, down 3-zip, and 3 big wins like that, and it's kept us in the pack all year, and hopefully we'll be fighting and we'll be in the playoffs at the end of the year.
Well, not only were you down 3-0, but you hadn't been outplayed. They got 3 goals, I believe, on 5 shots. You had a couple of sure goals, one which was knocked out of the net, one off the post. The club did not deflate.
Well, we kept on working hard, and that's been our ethic all year long, you know, hard work, and we'll get the bounces, and the breaks will definitely come. And, you know, Barrasso made some key saves early in the first period, and then we got that first one on him, and we kept grinding away and plugging away and never gave up. And great win for us because, you know, you go down 4 points in the Adams Division, that's tough ground to gain, and 6 points rather, and then 2 points behind right now and a couple games in hand, we're right back. It's a great thrill for the team. The guys are really excited in the locker room.
Yeah,
you can hear them yelling in the background.
We can hear them from here. Barrasso may have got the job done in the first period. Your guy did it in the last.
No question. Mike Liut got stronger as the game went on, and he made some key saves for us. A couple scrambles there when we were man short there. Dove across the net. I think it was Foligno there. He made a couple excellent saves when he was down and out, and it looks like they had an empty net and saved their bacon there. And it was you know, it was all-around team effort, and everybody come up large.
Joel, you get to send $500 courtesy Carling O'Keefe Sports to the Minor Hockey Association of your choice.
Definitely back where I grew up, Riverside Minor Hockey Association.
Where's Riverside?
It's just outside of Windsor, Ontario.
Congratulations,
Thank
Joel.
you. My pleasure.
Joel Kenville, defensive star. Let's go up to Dan and Ron.
Okay, Dan Matheson, quite a rally by the Hartford Whalers, and I'm sure your Carling O'Keefe play of the game is going to be a Hartford goal.
And we've already seen it. We'll see it again because it's worth looking at. Paul Lawless in this game had 9 shots on goal total. Here's the winning goal, and watch at the blue line now as Housley fails to make the check up against the boards, and it is tipped by him. Now this is Gavin coming in, and he will make a good move to go in deep, beat his man, and then turning around in front of the net and getting set is Lawless, and he just will get that pass out in front. He's all alone, and nothing that Barrasso could do about it at all. He tried as he cut across the goal mouth. There's the winning goal. The Carling O'Keefe Sports play of the game, 1 of 3 goals for Paul Lawless. Quite a game for him.
And quite a pass by Stewart,
who skated in the warm-ups before last night's game, hopefully will play tomorrow night. Now, last night in Detroit, Don Lever gives the Sabres a 1-0 lead, but the Red Wings, who were fired up trying to win one for new coach Brad Park, tied it on John Ogrodnik's long shot. Now watch, here he is to the right of Barrasso, beats him to the far side. This in the second period, it was tied. Then the Sabres go ahead. Adam Creighton sets up Gilles Hamel, who scores while lying prone on the ice, but Reed Larson's power play goal in the third period early tied it at 2. The Sabres remain unbeaten in their last 5. Now in Hartford last night, looking at some of the other Adams Division play, Peter Stastny sets up brother Anton late in the third period for the game winner as Quebec edges the Whalers 3-2. Bruins at the Islanders last night, a memorable night for Mike Bossy as Brian Trottier sets him up in the third period for the go-ahead goal. Islanders lead 6-5. This was Bossy's 499th career goal.